matter if you leave and I go up in flames. I would have done everything just the same, even if you decide you don't need to stay.
What you wanna say? Hide all you are to me. Veil what you wanna say, what you wanna say.
Diamonds in your eyes, now you're blind, like you're hypnotized. You've been losing sight of what's right, rather to be liked. Bow to every man, let them take you by the hand.
there's no desperation. I feel you surround me, your presence it grounds me. I'm needing your light. Just take me through the night,
And you can say it's all you need. When lights go down, I'm taken back to the ground. And wrapped in uncertainty, you just take your chance. But don't let them down now. Move yourself and bring it to the sound now. You just take me through the night. Are you gonna forget the way it's got to be. It's nobody's concern, cause they don't know how it burns when you're not here with me. Oh, so write my wrong in the sky, cause I can never deny this feeling. How can I ever stop? Oh, I don't wanna give up, This is my reason. This is my reason.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be going live with Heroic NaVi. Let's just turn this down slightly because this is a bit loud. We are into the pistol round here on Overpass on the final match day of ESL Pro League. And it does look like NaVi are hinting at a bit of a fake towards the A site by taking some underpass control. But it does look like it's a ruse and that they are going to be going towards the B-bomb site. And that looks to be the better choice as the Heroic members all stuck towards the A-bomb site and now locked out of the site. But Muddy still manages to pick up one, and that's going to be Edward dropping. Simple as well. Going to be picking up one that's Snappy falling down, and Seized takes down Muddy as well. So Flamey takes down Nico and Simple takes down Yugi. So a quick first round for NaVi here. Nothing too fancy, just a quick site execute for NaVi. That leads to them picking up the first round. And I do believe only Muddy got a kill on Heroic, so he would be the only one who would be able to finance a scout, but he isn't going to be picking up one this time around at least. It is going to be Muddy with a smoke though, because of that extra $300 he pocketed from his one kill. So NaVi actually going to be playing this force buy round really quickly. They're just going to be taking some map control here on the A long, while the other NaVi members slowly going to be joining them. First fight comes in, it's going to be Flamey taking down Nico. Slight wall bang there, but did have a clear shot at the beginning. Guardian going to be pushing in, takes down Yugi. And with that, a 5 versus 3. Seized. Watching the backlines here, and Heroic. Not quite sure if they want to try to play this. The first hand is going to be played by Muddy though. Gets a bit of damage onto Guardian. Now they're going to be pushing through the smoke in fact, and takes down Guardian, the low player. And with that, it does look like round over more or less. The CT is going to be falling back into hiding, going to be saving their guns. And in the meantime, NaVi just going to be slowly edging forward. Some of them slowly edging backwards. So now they've spotted one player. It's going to be Snappy, who is also going to be falling back. So both teams look intent on saving here. So only Seized who's out on the prowl. But it is going to be another round. A quick, clean and easy round for NaVi, as only Guardian falls and takes down. I do believe he took down Yugi. Not quite sure. I think Nico was the first kill to be picked up that round. We are going to be seeing what normally is an eco, but is not this time around. It's going to be Heroic with 3 guns saved and 3 armors saved. And Yugi and Nico going to be having to play around with some USP and no armor, so that's a bit of a struggle. So he's going to be taking some quick map control towards the B area, and it does look like the calls are quite on point here for NaVi. Once again, looks like Seized could be walking into a completely open site. But while I say that, the contrary looks to be unfolding here on A long, as the CTs are stacked inside of the toilet area. And let's actually put on some X-ray here. So this will make it all easier for Edward, who does get taken down by Muddy, and Guardian now falling back. He is going to be doing a lot of damage, in fact. Flame and Guardian both taking a couple fights here. And it is going to be Simple in the back lines, pushing in. Muddy gets taken down. And Seized actually from behind, going to be picking up Valdi. And that's about it. So didn't look much harder than a standard third round, even though Heroic can't save 3 armors. But now we are getting a real match on the way here. The pistol round, of course, always very important, but it is going to be Heroic who are going to be losing that, and in turn are now going to be buying up in the third round. Very pivotal round here. At least a crucial round. And And for Heroic, that first round on the board, especially on the CT side of Overpass, could be really, really nice. They are going to be just taking the fight straight up. CT's showing aggression. Actually, Nico pushing close here. And Simple is, for some odd reason, ready for that. Next level brain, 200 IQ plays. But Nico gets taken down. Simple gets traded out, though, by Snappy. And C's looking to regain the map control that they've lost. Snappy's still playing around this area, though. And it is going to be another kind of slow round. A bit of CC aggression at the start, forced the fight. But since then, no nades have been thrown. And the only one actually making a play here is Flamey, who is going to be taken down by Yugi. So a good setup from the CTs here on short, or water. And it does look like the T's are just walking into the trap set by the Danes. Valdi going to be picking up the first, and that is C's to drop. So Guardian Edward left on the T side. Edward, oh, barely hangs on to his life there. 6 HP left on him. Gonna be taken out from the fight. Guardian, last man standing. An AK, not his usual favorite weapon, and it does look like Modi, the rifler, will win the rifle battle this time around. So, C's actually picking up a Negev here. Is that even allowed in the rule set? Yeah, he must have dropped it, right? Let's go check the spawn here. I think he accidentally bought a Negev. They are throwing it out of the map, or at least trying to. I can definitely understand why. I do believe it actually is against the rule set to, well, not buy a Negev, because you can do that by accident, but playing with a Negev in actual rounds, at least the current Negev. So that's $2,000 down the drain for Seized. Not what you want to be doing in such an important match. Mind you, NaVi, I believe, are 6th in the league currently, and Heroic 8th. And top 6 gets playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. So, a very, very important match for both teams. If Heroic manage to pick up both maps here, they are going to be throwing NaVi out of their 6th spot and going to be claiming it for themselves. At least until further notice, because we do obviously have multiple matches today, and Snappy is going to be killing off Seized. He is still playing around the water area. They seem to be quite content on having this area of the map. Edward going to be taking down Snabby. Valdi, a bit of spam through the wall here. Can he find Simple? He does, in fact. And it is now a 4 versus 3 situation. Make that a 4 versus 2 situation. Yugi picks off Edward, takes him off the map, and once again we are in a 4 versus 2 situation. I think it was Guardian and perhaps Edward before, now it's Guardian and Flamey. We'll see if the swap of the 2 riflers there will have any impact, but in fact the timer is running low and the T's decide to save. I think this is the smart call. After all, winning a 4 versus 2 like this with such low time is, yeah, near impossible. They were very far from the site. Running knives out might have not even done it for them, so do understand why they would go and save. And Guardian with that AWP, you know, he is, or at least used to be, the type of player who could really do damage, win a match on his own if he had that AWP, and he does. So we'll see if he can find his old form and hopefully pick up a kill for his team. It's actually just going to be a Russian monster here, going to be charging through the flames, and he is going to be missing his shot, but Seized quickly trades that out with the help of Flamey. So a 4 versus 4, not too bad for the terrorists. They have 2 rifles and 2 pistols, so trading out that kill is definitely favorable. As most of you might know, trading as T's in general are, well, is the favorable thing. So doing it with low guns or low buy, that's just even better. And they even regain the AWP, so they'll go over to the secondary AWP, which is Simple. And we've seen him not much recently, but at least back in the day, I guess you can say. Still a young guy, Simple. But back when he was with Liquid, he did have a tendency to pick up the AWP a lot, and did play it quite a bit. So he is going to be scouting here towards the B bomb site, seeing if he can find out anybody. But it is going to be Muddy to take the first fight. Gets a bit of info. Edward needs this kill. A crucial one. Gets it. 4 versus 3 now. 3 versus 3. Muddy quickly trades it out, but gets refragged by Simple. Yugi now up in the heavens. Gets the help of his comrade Nico. Good nade. Kobe's down onto Flamey, who's planting the bomb, and Nico trying to flash away Simple. It does work. Now Simple is going to actually take down Nico. A bit surprised with that, and a good angle from Yugi. Finds it. Second of the round. Does have a kit, but seized in this position. It's a very tough one. He does pick up a smoke, so this makes it doable. And with that smoke, Seized is going to be just peeking straight out and wins the round. Really nicely played from Seized, actually. I like that. It's usually, you know, the case where Seized probably just sits and hides, but when he hears that a smoke is thrown, you want to try to peek before the smoke blooms, because when it blooms, you obviously don't know where the guy is, so if you actually stick in the defuse, you just have to blindly spray through it, and with a Tech 9 that's probably not the best idea. And if he doesn't sit on it, he can play around the smoke, so by peeking before the smoke blooms, Seized eliminates the kind of opportunity for Yugi to outplay him. I think they didn't know that Yugi was low, so definitely seems like the smarter bet. And also, if he were to stick it, and he spots him out before the smoke blooms, it's just a free frag, so by all means, a great round by Seized. Traded out the first kill. That was very key. And then wins the 1 versus 1. Flash comes in, Nico dodges it. Flamey is taking the fight. He does actually dink up his teammate, but takes down Nico eventually. Edward also finds Yugi in the meantime. And now Snappy he's going to be running into his waiting arms here. It does appear to be the case. Who is going to have the upper hand in this duel? It is going to be Snappy. Or at least he is the guy to get the kill. With only the UMP, and obviously the UMP not a bad weapon for such a low price tag. But now they've kind of ruled out the fact that ruled out the possibility of them going B by Snappy holding the map control for so long. So they are going to be going A, and the CTs know it. It's all just going to be coming down to fights, and the CT's locked out of the site. Valde with his signature move, underhanding through a smoke. And he's going to be picking up 2 franks, in fact. So Snappy going to be getting another one, and Flamey with just a single HP. This is going to be a really tough clutch for him. 17 seconds left. 1 HP. Needs to get the bomb down. Needs to get the kills, and Valde not going to allow him to do so. And so another round on the board for Heroic. Nicely done. Really, really key from Valde there to just get through the smoke, get out onto the site. As long as they're locked out of the smokes, or locked out by the smokes, there's no real way that they can win that. I guess they could have tried a boost, but that generally doesn't work when the T's are a lot of players alive. It doesn't look like NaVi are going to be changing up the pace here. They have been playing pretty slow throughout this match, and they are going to be playing their their force buy slowly as well. So that's an interesting decision. I definitely am a supporter of a type of A split rush, but obviously I'm in no position to sit and tell NaVi how to play the game. There are many years of experience coming together here on the final match day of ESL Pro League, and we are going to be seeing if that is going to be paying off. It does look like the execute is locking the CTs out of the site once again, and the CTs, they are okay with just letting them get control of the site. Snappy is going to be okay with letting Edward get control of his bullet right in the face, and Guardian going to be trading out Snappy, but good flashes coming in, and as I say that, Valde actually gets team flashed. A good flank coming in while Flamey picks up 2, and Simple got it all to do. He's got the huge flank here, and I don't think the CTs know quite yet, but it's just a matter of time. Yugi doesn't have a kit, and he's actually playing this so Simple has a chance to get out. He is out, and Mori doesn't see him because of 4x3. Simple going to be pushing in. He does take him down, and Yugi takes down Simple, but without a kit, yeah, there is time. There should be. It's going to be close, though. It's going to be down to the last second. And if Yugi doesn't get this, I think he will, though. Just barely. He gets it. 0.2 seconds. Mori even had a kit, so Muddy's guts basically exploding out of his body all over Yugi there. Should have kind of meant that Yugi picked up the kit. Could have just taken a few steps to the left, but obviously it was the probably better decision to just stick it there, simply because obviously he had the time, and it's a bit of a gamble if he didn't. So the kit could have easily been lost in the smoke, but a good try by Simple. 4x3 almost costing Heroic a crucial round. I'm gonna call most of the rounds today crucial because they are crucial in terms of this tournament. Muddy going to be showing that he doesn't crack under pressure. Takes down 2. Edward also with 1 and Snappy with 1, but Simple gets a kill and Snappy with another. This man is not done. 3 frags for him today. And if we take a look on the scoreboards here, Nico, the only guy who's not... I'm not sure if you can hear me right now. My stream crashed, and we're going to be just obviously continuing on with the game. I hope you didn't miss that shot that Edward just hit, because that was actually pretty nutty. Well, not really nutty, but it was a good shot. It was a bit of a dirty shot. Nice 1D on the AWP peeking. Always good. Guardian going to be taking down 1 and Muddy. Taking down 2, but actually ends up being visible to the AWP, and Edward, in the meantime, finds Nico. So, Snappy, 1 versus 2. I've just been singing this guy's praises. We'll see if he can actually do it once again. Needs to find 2 and Simple with the AWP. Never one that you want to run into. Especially not in a clutch scenario like this. So, does have a smoke. He needs to find this first kill on Edward. And will get it, so now with the smoke, might be able to, but Simple, all he needed was just seeing his elbow. And Snappy trying to work the angles there by shoulder peeking, but didn't quite get the angle right. I mean, in Snappy's defense, had Simple missed that shot, it would have been a very tough clutch. Well, it wouldn't necessarily have been a tough clutch for him to win, but it would have just put a lot of pressure on him. I think that's how Simple likes to play it, though. But if he misses that shot, he's kind of locked in the corner, and a good nade coming in from Flamey. I think he's practiced that. I saw that on Reddit somehow. Sometime. Nico going to be picking up 1. Good frag from him. He's only on 2, so picking up 1 with a low buy. Good for your confidence. And good for your team as well. The problem is, that was the only big pistol they had. Now all they do have is 1 P250, and that's on Muddy. So they're banking on the fact that NaVi are going B. And talking about banks, it looks like they are heading up to the A bomb site instead. Well, there is in fact a bank. If you didn't know, you can actually... I'm not sure if you can shoot the ATM. That's kind of outside of the map. I think you can, and it rains money. I'm not sure if you can shoot it or nade it. Yeah, that was just my girlfriend. She's leaving for the weekend. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I hope she didn't hear that. But she's gonna be lining up the smoke. They are actually gonna be... Well, they should worry about this flank, but it doesn't look like they are gonna be. Snappy, with just the USP, just needs to, you know, draw out the time here. Isn't able to. Might be the wiser choice to have a 2-pronged approach here. So just staying alive is good. Bounty quickly behind. And Yugi also finds 1. That's Simple. Now Snappy, and they are actually out of the sight. The NaVi players are locked out of the sight. No smoke though, but still. Guardian's gonna be peeking. Bounty has the angle. And a Molotov. This should seal the deal. Muddy coming in from behind. Shoots through the smoke. Does take down Guardian. Bounty will. Eventually. And actually a full... Well, not really a full eco. More or less though. No armors at all. And just a single Desert Eagle and a P250. So... A great round by Heroic. What I like, that round is actually they gamble stack on B. They put all 4 players. Since nothing is happening there and they're not hearing anything, they just kind of gamble push it, I guess you could call it. You need to get some sort of info or map control. You need to make some sort of a special play when you want to win with pistols. I have to apologize if there's noise in the background. That's just my girlfriend. Should be stopping shortly. But you kind of have to make a special play, and they did make a special play, and it paid off. A free frag from Valde and a second one. That's amazing from him and Snappy. This water control has just been worth its weight in gold for Heroic today, and I mean, if you were to ask Fallen, the SK in-game leader, he'd say that water control is very, very vital, and something that's also pretty vital is that trade, because going into a 4 vs 2 does at least give NaVi some sort of an in to the round, but Nico isn't gonna let him have a chance, or at least not 2 chances, and Edward isn't gonna get one either. But I mean, I kind of want to stress here that, you know, Heroic have actually been doing really well at playing the information game here on CT side. I think Overpass is a great map for CT sided aggression. They haven't really been caught off by any stupid pushes yet, and with this many rounds into the half, I honestly would doubt the fact that they will at all. It looks like just a full-on B rush here. Matchmaking strat is going to be slowed down by the Molotovs, but I'm sure that they're going to just go charge in as soon as the Molotovs clear. It's probably just a contact play right now. They're actually going to get a flash from Seized. I'm liking this. Buy a single flash and try to make something from it. They're going to be jumping in, and Valde takes down... oh, takes 2 bullets to the face, and they do get 2 quick frags, and a third as well! Seized! The absolute madman now picks up a UMP, and Heroic left wondering what happened. They're locked out of the site once again, but Nico takes one, and look at that headshot from Simple. A bit too overzealous though, over-peeking. Major no-no in a round like this, but doesn't appear to have cost his team the round just yet. Yugi going in with the CZ, he needs to land his shots. He just can't. He tries to go for the knife, gonna be taken down Edward with the AWP instead. Has a smoke for the bomb, uses it quickly. Sticking it might be a good idea. Flamey has to be coming in, knives, and gets Yugi, so dreams shattered for Yugi. Not gonna be getting the bomb defuse here, and a full eco with a single flash. I mean, I'm not sure if Heroic misread the economy here, or they just decided to, or at least tried to keep NaVi off the bomb site. Preferably, in my opinion, at least. I'm not trying to tell Heroic how to play the game, of course, but playing the distance game there might be a better option, simply because they are full eco, they don't have armor at all. The only thing you can really risk by playing the distance is them getting a bomb plant, and perhaps that's what they didn't want to give them. Valde gets caught out with a risky push, and this was what I felt worked well for them. This time it didn't. Valde gonna be taken down by Seized, but trade out by Snappy, who has had a phenomenal match so far. And into a 4 vs 4. Heroic has a long stack and a low player on B, so the right site to hit right now is B, and NaVi seems to have read that. But Heroic once again doing some CD-sided aggression. Muddy caught out though. And Snappy, the low HP player, going to be the single man on the bomb site here. Has to stop the charge, and he does not have either the skills or the HP. You take a pick. What he is going to be having though, or well, what Yugi is going to be having though is his AWP into the next round. If all goes well, it looks like he is going to be going for the save here. And with Nico so far away, he's wary that someone might have pushed Banana and is on the A-bomb side already. So Nico going to be hearing this, but isn't going to be winning the fight, and this is not the type of Nico we're used to seeing on Heroic. 6-11. And losing a fight like that, I mean, without trying to, you know, make any enemies here, I feel like I can say with some certainty that Nico wasn't picked up because of his knowledge of the game. He's a young guy. What you want in a guy like that is a guy who can win his duels, and right now he hasn't had much luck. That's definitely a duel that I'd see him winning, you know, 9 times out of 10 normally. So I'm not sure what the deal is. Hopefully he'll bounce back on the second map or even the second half. 7-7 is the scoreline. a bit of a missed nade there. Gonna be blowing out the door. But they are actually gonna just... maybe it was intentional. It just looked unintentional. But they are taking water control. And another B-side execute coming in. Valde needs this kill. Gets it. Another Molotov comes in. Valde plays in it. And Simple. Oh, they're just actually watching the rotations right now. Simple gonna be taking down Snappy. And Muddy takes down Seized. Flamey takes down Muddy. And all of a sudden it's a 3 versus 3 kills traded constantly. Guardian trying to clear water. The B water there. Nico on the flank gets taken out by Flamey. Now Yugi. Tough clutch to be in. And Simple is going to be taking him down. So I'm not quite sure. I mean, what Guardian was doing here. I guess they wanted to clear water, but I think there was a bit of a panic because Guardian was running here with an AWP. And then he had the bomb as well, so he went and dropped the bomb when he died. I'm not sure if there was like a deliberate plan there, or if it's just because they are a bit stressed out, but it would be understandable. This match means a lot to them, both teams. And NaVi haven't really looked all too good lately, so being a bit nervous or stressed out when playing a team like Heroic, who, I mean, at the last event, what was that? Was that DreamHack Open Tours? I do believe it was, where they ended up on last place, if I'm not mistaken. Besides that tournament, though, I feel like they've had decent showings. Springs to mind, where they surprisingly got first in their group, I believe, and went straight to semis. Lost that, unfortunately. I think they lost to Astralis. I'm really bad at remembering this stuff. I just remember there was like, I think North. I feel like North. Or probably not North. I feel like it was Astralis, FaZe, Heroic, and I want to say SK. Never mind, it's not. I'm not an esports historian like Thorin, so I don't get paid to memorize stuff like that. But hopefully we'll get the game underway soon. If the break is too long, I'll just go out and put on some soothing music to please you guys. And if the break is too long, I think I'm gonna grab something to drink because my throat is actually a bit sore, which gets a bit annoying. It's kind of hard to build hype when your throat tries to cut out midway through. But hope it's enjoyable nonetheless. It's actually been quite a while since I've casted. Last time I casted was a long time ago, but it's always something that I've loved. Normally I don't really do online casting, so this is also a bit weird for me. I only really do events. But I had the time to do some online casting today, and final match day of ESL Pro League, some really phenomenal matches. There's no way that I'm gonna say no to that opportunity. And I mean, it's all good in the hood. I kind of wish, you know, like I could bring you guys more analysis. But I feel like it's been. I mean, there's always stuff to analyze, and I could sit and just analyze instead of casting, but obviously that's not what I what's in my job description here. So, I mean, it's just I find analysis incredibly interesting. Or I'm not going to use the word fun. That's a bit over the top, perhaps, but I feel like there wasn't really that much to get from this match. It does look like we are getting onwards in the second pistol here, but it was just a very slow game. The CD-sided aggression from Heroic seemed to work out really well in their favor. For the majority of the time, I feel like they only got caught out that one time with Valde pushing Monster. Besides that, though, like there wasn't really much to take from this, except for the fact that NaVi played a very execute-heavy style, and that also worked out quite well for them. They got the plant down, but let's focus on this round. And the CC is actually stacking short here as a retake kind of scenario, and It does seem to be paying off. Cease gets 2 kills, and with that Kobe nade onto the bomb planner, he gets Yugi down low, but a good plan. I see the plan from Heroic here is to just get Nico to lurk into CT. With the open plan, he is going to be trying to play the bomb from here. 1 versus 4, though, going to be very tough. And honestly, a bit, I wouldn't say surprising, but just a bit unlucky that Nico is kind of having an off day, because it, you know, that play, it's not set up for him to be, you know, the star or winning the round. What they, you know, prefer is just going in, getting the bomb plant, getting a few early kills, and then getting the bomb down in a 3 versus 3, I assume. And then, you know, playing the 3 versus 3 with 1 guy pushing CT or maybe multiple, and playing the bomb from CT heaven. But didn't work out because the CTs were playing retake, so kind of a good counter. And Cease with that nade up in heaven, dunked down on 2 players and killed off 2 players. He was even the utility player, so that was massive. I don't know why Auto Director is not gonna show us the action here. Edward removing Yugi, and Balde doing the same to Simple. So Edward actually taken out of the equation here by Muddy. Takes him down with just a P250, and Guardian takes a bit of damage here. So all the CTs rotating up on the A bomb site, but in fact Flamey is just going to be hanging around the anchor on the B bomb site. Never want to rotate early, or at least you don't want to rotate too early. Drop-in of guns in shoes, and considering the fact that this is just, you know, a hard eco, more or less just a bunch of P250s, it's actually a pretty good round already from Heroic. It does look like, judging from the radar, yeah, okay, it's just going to be a B split here, trying to get the bomb plant, I would assume. If they get the kill onto Flamey, and especially if they get it with the UMP and they get a bomb plant, that would just be amazing. Muddy taken out by Cease though, quick and easy. Nico going to be removing Flamey, Seized with 2, Snappy could kill off Seized with a bit of luck. Guardian dinked up, 18 and 13 HP. And I did say with a bit of luck he could have killed Seized. Honestly, with a bit of luck he could have won the round. And Snappy, I mean, I don't want to sit and just say the same stuff all the time, but really feel like Snappy is playing a very, very good game today. He's getting a lot of impact frags as the in-game leader as well. I mean, the game plan seems solid. The CT aggression, it's probably something that they've, you know, practiced more than mid-round calling from him. But the T's, once again, look at this call. CT's wanting to check water control, and the T's just walking out of Monster. Snappy getting caught out, takes the fight and does drop Edward quite low, but the CTs, they do know it's a B hit, and they are just going to be closing down the terrorists here. Yugi takes down Simple. Nico, potential to run A here, and both of the CTs are low, so he is going to be making his way onto the A bomb site. Could be planning for CT, and that's going to make it a really tough round for the CTs here. He is going to be planning for CT. We'll see how he plays this. It does look like he's going to be hunting for the first frag, and is unfortunately looking the wrong way right when the battle comes in. Unfortunately, because it did look like he had the idea that someone could be long, and it did look like he kind of had the idea to go and play it from long. So had Edward been playing with Flamey, or had he just been rotating through CT from B, Nico would have, well, not necessarily countered that, because it's not really a counter, but it's just, I wouldn't say outplayed either, because it's, you know, he could have outplayed him just by hiding in CT and waiting for him to come up, but it would have been a bit of a gamble, but still I feel like it would have been a good risk to take, simply because you have an angle where the plant is kinda for you, so the CTs, it's obviously not the first spot that they think you are gonna be at, and you can still play the bomb, so you're kinda banking on the fact that the CTs don't just stick it on the first defuse, which most probably wouldn't in such a situation. Bit of info gathered from Seized there, jumping up, and smokes used actually quite early here for NaVi. I think it was 1 minute 33 and 2 smokes expended. One in monster, one on short. A bunch of UMPs here on Heroic leads me to believe that they value the utility, so an execute looks like it's going to be coming in. Flamey! That smoke was missed, and it does cost him. Simple picks out one, Yugi with one, and Snappy with one as well. Seized. Can the timing come in? He gets one. Gets taken out in the back though. Guardian with the AWP behind the wall of smokes, and really the only way Guardian can win this round is if someone peeks stupidly. And it seems like Guardian, he's calculating the IQ of the Heroic players mid-round here. And doesn't seem like he even believes that they're stupid enough to go for this. I mean, they could go on the hunt, and that's not a bad bet. The only problem is, money-wise, Heroic are not really set for life here. But at the same time, NaVi's money is very low, so what we're most likely going to be seeing here is NaVi buying up pistol armor. A few of them actually kind of have to do it. Guardian could drop a UMP, and he is going to be doing that. So they are probably going to be forcing down. I'm not sure if Seized, he could save 1500. Oh, he isn't actually gonna. So he's just going to be committing to this. The reason why I'd say you could kind of save 1500 is because he had the most money of all of his teammates, more or less. And if he saves 1500, then even if they lose this round and they lose the next, they do have an open in the third round. But they decide to just go for it, and I think there's a solid bet as well. Valde needs this kill and gets it. Now Edward, a bit of a long spray time there, but does get the frag in the end, and lucky timing for Seized. Flamey, he's going to be getting 2 frags in fact, and now it's all left to Simple. He's got a 1 in his name. I think that's because currently he is number 1, but also because he is the only one left on the NaVi side. Let's take a look at this, guys. Playing inside of connector. What he's hoping here is that either he can get a free frag, because that's 600 money in the bank, but also he can pick up Guardian's AWP. And timing works out in his favor. Didn't for his teammate Seized, but for Simple it did. He's going to be trying to lock the rotation from Snappy. Going to be taking the first frag. That's actually a crucial frag as well, because money-wise, as I said, Heroic, it's not like they're rich or anything, so any kill that Simple gets here is a bonus. Obviously, priority number 1, save the save the AWP. But priority number 2, if you can take someone down with him, and he takes 2 down with him, that puts a lot of strain on Heroic's economy here. So we'll see them buying up, and you have Yugi, who has to buy an AWP, and he obviously uses a lot of his money. Actually, I think he got it dropped from Modi. So Modi spends a lot of money on buying Yugi the AWP. And yeah, look at the money now. Now all they have is just, you know, 2 guys potentially being able to buy next round, and it would be a very scrappy buy. On the CT side, though, what we do have is NaVi with a scrappy buy. They have Simple with the open. I mean, Heroic, what we've seen is that they haven't really gone A long at all. So Simple is kind of hoping that he can yeah, he has a read on what's going on, or what their next move is. Snappy, a bit of lucky spray. Seized, evasive at the beginning, but later on not so much. That's actually an interesting Molotov. I like that, because that's actually a very hard spot to clear out, and with the 2 flashes through the window, that's really good. Heroic changing up the pace now, and Edward just gets caught out completely. Modi with another one. Can he get a third? He will not. Flamey, a good assist, but unfortunately it's on his teammate. And this is this is solid calling from Heroic. I mean, what you want to be doing in a round like this? This is obviously really hard, and it's not just you know the TV show Gamers, right? I saw a clip where Wolfie complained that his teammates just kept running into the AWP, and he said, "Stop running into the AWP's crosser." But obviously, it's not that simple, and here is simple. But basically, what I'm just trying to get to here is that a good caller recognizes that obviously the biggest threat in this round is Simple, or at least whoever is holding the AWP, and in this case it was Simple. So what you want to do is you want to find out what the AWP is playing, or at least take a guess, or work out where he's playing on the map by applying pressure on different spots. And what they did is they ended up going to the B bomb site where Simple was not. Simple didn't see a single player throughout this whole round, so him having the AWP is, you know, it doesn't really matter at all. He might as well have had a pistol. He probably would have saved if he did, but you want to play around the AWP. You want to try to dodge the AWP, and that's also what Simple, he wants to try to find out what the heroic players are. Obviously, I mean, it sounds obvious, but it's just good calling from Snappy. He's predicting where Simple is moving, and we see it here again. Simple takes the AWP over to B, place it around water. They know that, you know, water is an area that they control a lot on CC side, and maybe they want to do that on C side as well. But Nico, an N instead of an H, picks up one. Valde, Snappy, one apiece, and once again, Simple finding nothing. This saved AWP is more like a curse than a gift currently. Might find contact here on Modi, but I'm actually really liking the in-game leading on heroic right now. It's very solid fundamentals, I guess you can say. Just working the map and trying to avoid the AWP at all costs. Running into 4 pistols is almost better than running into 1 AWP, because he can obviously just take 1 shot and then rotate it off. Now Simple doesn't really have the support of his teammates, and apparently doesn't have the support of Mouse 1, but gets the flick though. That was an insane shot from him. Taken out by Valde though. I was ready to churn out the highlights there, but Simple only with 1. I think, I mean, he could have had 2, to be fair, if he had pulled the trigger on the first one. I'm not sure if sometimes it happens, not really at the high level, but sometimes it does happen that you change away from the AWP before you press mouse 1. It's really not something that should be happening to a guy like Simple, but... And I'm saying this even though I know that Simple kind of... I'd say he seems like one of the players that gets the least affected by nerves. But it could be nerves showing that you don't pull a trigger in such a scenario, so that's obviously all just thoughts. No concrete data to back up my claims. It's not really a claim though, it's just a nice thought or whatever. I'll let you guys rate my thought. But Guardian picking up an AWP. They have to rebuy it as well because Simple died, so even more of a curse actually. If you had just, you know, played that safe, maybe taken 1 frag, he saved the AWP, they do get more economy. Instead, they work the map, and then they even end towards the bomb site where the AWP is, so they do kill him off, and yeah. All in all, just the curse of the AWP, and then eventually it even ended up costing them money that he lost it. So another slow round from Heroic there. They really like to work the map. I think not Infernal. Overpass is definitely a map where you should Simple. Getting a bit of damage through the tree there. Yugi is honestly like, there are some oppers who are just insane at just wall banging all the time. Yugi is one of them. He's got the read on Simple. Not necessarily a bad move. This might be though. Guardian misses the shot and Muddy takes down C. So B-bomb side is wide open, but Flamey, lurking in the depths of the short pipe, could be able to deny the plant here, killing off the bomb, and now they have to regain it. Unfortunately for Flamey, they're coming in from both sides of this area, and they're going to be taking him down. Edward manages to connect the spray, and 2 versus 3. Not impossible. Guardian smoked off though, it's going to be hard. Good nade comes in. Good spray from Edward. Guardian with another as well, and it's Nico versus Edward. Nico has the knowledge of where Edward is. Edward charging in. Oh, great shot by Edward. Good read by him. 7 seconds on the timer. Nico either has to, you know, commit to the plant, or he has to fake the plant and then hope that Edward is charging him. It's a really hard risk to take to fake the plant in such a scenario. So Nico just going for the plant. It's all good. I mean, obviously watching this from like an outside perspective, one thing I think Nico could have maybe have done differently. I mean, it's a good shot by Edward. He's predicting him. It's you know, sort of a pre-fire. The only thing Nico could have really done is, I guess, planted the bomb and then hid in the smoke, or like played in the smoke, played behind the smoke. But I think it was fading, so a super hard round for Nico to play there. I think he got more or less the most out of it. Obviously could have won it, but as I said, not an easy round to play. And now, Modi actually, I'm not sure if he's backing off here because he's aware, yeah, he is aware that someone is, or could be pushing him, but I was unsure whether or not he knew. Could have just been the case that, you know, he fell back because he wanted to rotate Tay, but he's staying. Does seem like he knows. So I like what they're doing right here. They're just gathering their teammates and making sure to clear this area in a manner where they could trade. If Modi tried to regain this map control by himself, if he goes and dies, no one is able to trade. So instead, they make a mid-run call. Hey, let's go together. And it looks to be a solid bet right now. As soon as any noise is made, though, I think we're going to be seeing some really quick NaVi rotates here. Seas gets the contact, and Simple is going to the B-bomb site quickly. But he might rotate. Oh, okay, here comes the execute. So execute coming in. Smoke wall once again. This time they're going to be playing in front of the smokes. Simple in the smoke, taken out by Modi. Flaming only gets one, and that's just a picture perfect execute from Heroic. Once again, you know, I think this round starts from the spawn where they say we want to end this round in a B site execute, because they've probably spotted some weaknesses in the B bomb site, or they know that they, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you could have reads from demos or whatever, but it could just be the fact that NaVi have you kind of know that they have a tendency to late round play 3 guys on A bomb site. That they're kind of gamble stacking or stacking late round more towards that bomb site. Edward finding Valde here, but I think it's a call from spawn. You know, let's end off this round with a B side execute. And what they just do is they work the map. They use the utility really nicely. They pick the right side again, and they even go with the execute. But they go in, you know, they actually go in so slow and methodically that it almost got to the point where Simple rotates down, and Caesar's just spotted like 2 or 3 guys. But it's almost like Simple should start rotating back. Like, if they had waited 5 more seconds with the execute, he might have actually, you know, done that, because they only had the contact on 2 players or so, and, you know, it's hard to know what's happening on the map. Snappy, not a fool though, knows what's happening around the map, and all that's happening right now is just Snappy removing heads. Nico with 2 of his own. Heroic in the lead, and we're nearing match point, so really, really vital from Heroic. And NaVi, they need to work out some stuff here. They need to work out how to play this map. Well, not how to play this map, but how to play it against Heroic, I guess you could say, because right now Heroic, they are reading the stacks and just mid-round calling NaVi to shreds. But at the same time, they also just have a good understanding of what needs to be done late round. Mid round, they're just taking map control, and they're really not getting punished. That's what you want from an AWPer on overpass usually. Like, try to pressure mid, try to pressure long, maybe take a peek in underground. I don't think we've seen that at all, actually. I mean, Simple tried it, the rounds that he saved and all, but we haven't really seen it from Guardian, and we haven't really seen Heroic go A long at all. Now, I'm not saying that you can entirely base a call from NaVi off of that, but what worked well, and I'm just going to stress this fact again, what I feel like worked really well for Heroic was the CT-sided aggression when they played CT. So we haven't really seen much of that from NaVi. We saw it from Flamey, pushing monster, but he just gave up the map control or the info immediately. It was a good decision, not saying that, but it's just maybe they need to Yugi with a good frag here. Hold on to that thought. And Flamey with one, with two good headshots, finding a third as well, and Yugi takes him out. Flamey and more flames. Molotov goes in, lands on the side. Snappy. About to be smoked out. Guardian, though, really needs to land that shot. Does seem like his confidence might be quite low. Edward and Simple work together. Yugi, not an impossible round, especially not for a player of his caliber. Oh, he's heard this. This is a free frag. Yeah, he knows. Yugi takes down Simple. He knows the last is an AWP. Yeah. Look at the utility usage here from Yugi. Unfortunately, the flash is a bit too far, so Guardian can dodge it. If he hadn't dodged it, he could have crossed, and that would have made sense. He could have also just peeked on that flash. Yugi could have peeked on his flash, or like taken an angle on Guardian and waited for him to make the move. But I'm not saying that was a bad play. It's just unfortunately the flash was a bit off. But we need to see Guardian peeking, and we are seeing Guardian peek here, but gets nothing from it. Gets flashed off. I think honestly mid on CT overpass, there's really no reason to peek it, honestly. I mean, a lot of teams do it. I don't think it's necessarily bad because you kind of keep the T's on their toes. The problem is that every team has a default on this map where you pre-flash mid, so you need to dodge that flash and then peek. And if you dodge the flash and then peek, sometimes the T's can already have ran past, and it's just, I think it's yeah, I kind of dislike it. I think taking the up to underground, that's nice. There's a lot of ways you can peek B, or you can play some setups with the AWP. They are playing a setup with the AWP though. It does appear to be the case. We see Simple here up close, and then we have Guardian all the way back. Simple picking up one, gets traded out. I'm not sure it was the right choice to commit to that fight. If he just had gotten the first frag, then Guardian could be holding the angle. There's no smoke there, there's no flashes, and Guardian likely gets the second frag. He does anyway because he doesn't really care about smokes. Guardian needs to find his fine sit. Snappy out of the equation. And a third from Guardian. Almost the fourth, but muddy. Huge round by Guardian. Beautiful stuff. We need to see him, picking up the speed here. Some nice shots, and sometimes, I'm obviously not at the level of these guys, but as an open myself, I know the feeling of having a bad game and having that one round where it just seems like your shots connect. You get a kill through the smoke. It's nice. You get a kill where you can only see the top of a guy's head. It's also a pretty good shot, and then he gets a flick, and then if he landed the fourth, I'm pretty sure we would have seen him spiral out of control for the rest of this half. Some CT aggression, and we've been lacking this from NaVi. Unfortunately, it's not going to be working out. Simple. I'm liking this play. Sits inside of the smoke, and they are not going to be clearing him. Edward taken out. Simple with one. Needs a second. Does not get it. Oh, and now onto the shoulders of Guardian. Kobe nade. Dunk. Only 8 damage, actually. Is smoked out. Bit of a gap in the smoke, though. We can play this. Good flashes. I'm liking this. This is definitely doable. I don't think they know the Guardian is ward already. Yugi is there with the angle. He is going to be catching out Guardian. But he played it so quickly. He could have actually almost caught out Yugi with a flash if he had played it slightly quicker. But now NaVi, what are you going to do? I mean, they are actually going to be forcing this, because I think that's a bit of a risk to take. It would have been, you can take 2 bad buys where you force it up with pistols and UMPs, or you could get 1 good buy. I'm not saying that one way is better than the other. I have full respect for this kind of buy, but I mean the AWP, they haven't really gotten a lot from the AWP, so I guess it makes sense. It's almost like the UMPs are the ones that are paying off the most, and they are going to be actually playing, like contesting the underpass. I'm liking this because it's It's a quick rotation for both the CTs and the Ts, of course. It's usually the case. Having control of this area is really good. Modi going to be faking towards B, and the CTs, are they going to budge? They're not moving from the setup, and that's because Seized has a lot of info. So Edward now is going to be playing some info on long. He's maybe peek. Well, they don't have a flash, so he's just going to peek dry. But now the CTs, they have a good idea that it's going to be an A-side hit, and that's all from the info that Edward got. So now 3 CTs rotating through, and they are going to be on the A bomb site. So a big fight going to be coming in, and Valde with the first. Edward trades it out though, and now it's all up to the next kill, more or less. A great shot from Modi, snappy with one as well, and Modi seized, and Modi and Nico. So 15-14 in favor of Heroic here on DE Overpass. And if you've just joined, and if you haven't taken a look at the standings, if I'm not mistaken, NaVi are currently 6th and Heroic are 8th. And obviously, if some other matches have ended, this could have changed. I'm not entirely sure. But just before this match started, I do believe Heroic was 8th and NaVi 6th. So top 6 gets playoffs. If Heroic beats NaVi on both maps today, so Overpass here and the other map that we're going to be seeing after, they take their spot and they are in playoffs, except if someone else gets some points. So a good opening from Modi. It's key. A second from him. Beautiful stuff. Very, very key. And now 3 versus 5. NaVi, what are you going to do about this? Simple. Usually the man you look to when it looks the most dire. And grabs the UMP. Is he even going to play it? He's not a bad Deagle player. Definitely not. But Guardian playing on the A-bomb side alone, and it seems like the T's are going to be making their way downtown. Walking fast is simple. At least there are 2 guys on the A-bomb side now, but this is just... I mean, in such a scenario here, it's almost like it should be gamble stack, and he's getting a lot of info. They hear smokes on A side. Yeah. Flashes for his teammates. They really need to make something magical here. Guardian with 1, Simple with 1, and Seized 1 versus 3. He's a good player, but I think... I mean, even if I was at Starbucks and ordered a Venti, I would say this was too tall of an order. But it is going to be Heroic picking up Seized in 1 versus 3. Oh, the 3 versus 1. Has Seized. Doesn't look too happy. So, 16-14 for Heroic, and I mean, I just said it again, of course, but a very, very important match for both teams. It does actually have a big impact on who has the opportunity to make playoffs. So now that Heroic took the first map, it just makes the second map the more interesting and the more important. So what you're going to be seeing from me now is I'm going to just remove the volume here. I'm going to go to a break. I'm going to put on some soothing music. I'm going to grab something to drink. We're going to wait for the second map of the best of 2 here. So thank you so much for watching, and yeah, stay tuned. I'll see you in the second map.
Oh, I beg you, can I follow? Be my only, be the water where I'm waiting. You're my river running high, run deep, run wild. I'll follow you, deep sea baby. I'll follow you, I'll follow you, dark moon honey. I'll follow you, I'll follow you, deep sea baby. I'll follow you, I'll follow you, dark moon honey. I'll follow you. Hear a message. I'm the runner. He the rebel. I'm the daughter waiting for you. You're my river, run high, running deep, run wild. I'll follow you, deep sea baby. I'll follow you, I'll follow you, dark moon honey. I'll follow you, I'll follow you, deep sea baby. I'll follow you, I'll follow you, dark moon honey. I'll follow you.
You promised me to tell if there's anything haunting you. You leave without saying where you're going or where to. Should I worry that you won't come back? Should I worry that you will forget? My sense is telling me I shouldn't worry, you know the truth. Ooh, yeah. I can never take away our story now. And I know you feel it too, our story, it's too precious now. Yeah. I can never take away our story now. We've come too far to waste our story, it's our story now. Let's go. Take away our story We've come too far to waste our story, it's our story now. Yeah. You promised me to tell if there's anything.
Well, guys. I think we're starting. I don't know why I can't. Actually, just hang on. I need to put on some sound. And this should be good. So, heading on to the second map of this best of two. It's going to be Cobblestone, as you can probably tell. And Guardian with some early plat control. Sees nothing, so now they're starting to figure out it's probably going to be an A hit. And a good setup to counter just that. Flamey gonna be taken down one, but simple. Also finds one as Yugi. Finds Flamey. Sees. Now a really good setup actually. I don't think they're gonna clear backside because of the quick rotation, so unfortunately they might have seen. They have not seen him, in fact. And Simple only gets one. This is such a weird round. Edward, 1 versus 2. Looking around, does not find Muddy. Was that just like whiffs upon whiffs, or what? Flamey missing some easy shots down in mid. Simple sitting backside, and somehow, I mean, he was low. I think he was on like 20 HP, so it's somewhat understandable, I guess, that he only gets 1 kill. But still, one guy was planning, and another guy obviously wasn't planning, and he got that first kill pretty early, so I don't know how he didn't get both. But beyond me, a bit of a scrappy round. Well, not really a scrappy round, but it's just not really pro league-esque of a round from NaVi. From Heroic, I mean, we didn't really see any of them miss clear-cut opportunities. So, and here we see another good call from the T's, walking up mid, and now every single NaVi member is on the other side of this door. Muddy taking one down, might even slide through the vent here. Thinks better of it though, and the CTs, not a bad decision actually. I'm liking this. So they kind of just gamble stack pretty much 5 guys towards B. And now that they went A, they know they don't really have any chance on the retake. So what they just do is they go and save. Okay, luckily Guardian didn't have only body armor, because that would have ruined his armor. That would have been pretty weird. But anyway, I like this because what it essentially does is the second round, where you obviously force up, and the T's, it's not necessarily a struggle to win it, but it's definitely a bit hard to win it. What you're kind of doing is that, okay, now they've won the second round, and they should be happy that they did. They did that on the back of a good call, though. But now they're into the third round, and they still have another hard round. Not really hard in terms of obviously a buy round versus a fully bought up team versus a fully bought up team. But they do have another round where they're facing off against pistols and armor, and honestly, any top tier team with pistols shouldn't be underestimated. And Simple even has a Zeus. He's sitting down here in mid, so even though he doesn't have armor, he might just take one with him to the grave. So I like the decision here from NaVi to just go ahead and save their guns. So Edward, pranked pop flash and Flamey. I don't think he's going to call it in time. Ooh, this is so close. He takes down Snappy. Gets traded out though. And now Guardian peeks out in mid. Perfect timing. Takes the first. Gets killed by the second, in fact. And now Nico takes down Edward. And immediately Valley pushes down drop. I'm liking this from Valley as well, but now Seized could find the bomb here. Simple is also pushed up. And Seized finds the bomb, in fact. So now 1 minute left and a good peek out by Simple. Perfect timing. Now, Valde, they don't know where he is. And he doesn't... He does know where they were, but he doesn't know where they are. So Simple, he's got the Zeus out. And he could have just been playing the UMP, but... This is Simple. Oh, the timing. Oh, he knows. Oh, he's... Okay, I thought he was going to go ahead and Zeus him anyway. But a lot of actually, you know... valuable analysis here. I'm not sure that I can make it valuable, but I think it was a very interesting round because you had Valde who actually made a really good mid-round decision to just jump down drop and go into A, or go into connector, so he could split A with his mates, and they knew, you know, there was obviously a max of 2 guys on A since there was only 2 guys left, but they didn't know if there was anybody on B. There was, and Yugi died, lost the bomb, so they should have just split A. It's obviously a hard decision to know, but at the same time, Simple pushes out, so Seized and Simple are kind of pushing on both sides of the bomb there on the 2 T's, and then when Seized finds the first frag, the bomb, I think it was Modi who instantly tries to regain control of the bomb. And on that timing, Simple peeks out and gets a kill in the back, and that just won them the round. So, really good mid-round decision actually from Valde, but not really much that he could do. And this is actually interesting. They're walking through their own smoke. They might just catch Flamey off, but he just spotted the shoulder blades of one of the T players. Good fast rotation from Edward though. So tries to smoke himself off, and Simple. This is interesting to say the least. Gets the first. Can't quite get more. Not yet, at least. Valde gets taken down, and that's the bomb as well. In the meantime, Seized removes Nico, and now it's all left to Snappy. And Snappy not in the best of positions. Simple does have the idea he might be here, but a great shot from Snappy. I think he hears someone just throwing around some nades, and Guardian to watch the cross with an AWP. It's going to be tough for Snappy. He doesn't have a smoke, but he does have the idea the Guardian is there. Reads it perfectly and jumps across. Now Seized. Did he catch a glimpse? He did not, and Seized takes him out. So I think actually Snappy could have seen Seized jump out of heaven, but it was, or like upper, but it was only a shoulder, so it's probably not something that you'd really notice unless you have X-ray and you know that there's a guy coming there. But still, good play by Snappy. He gets the first frag really quickly, and that opens up the round. If he has a bit of a struggle versus Simple, if he loses HP or he just takes too long, he's gonna immediately get traded. But because he just instantly ends him, he actually can make something of that round. Reads it perfectly with Guardian's angle, but unfortunately a bit unlucky. But just shows, well, in this scenario actually also kind of the aim of Snappy, but also just the brain of this guy. I think it's actually amazing to see. I feel like he's been doing some really good calling today, from what I've seen. Seized in the window, and all the heroic players come dropping. Seized does not win the fight. Valde takes him down, jumps out, and just a crossfire. An insane crossfire here. Simple, Edward. Simple, really one of those eco frags. And Flamey takes out Nico there. So, a really solid kind of, I wouldn't really call it a rotation. I guess it was some sort of a rotation, but a good kind of on-the-fly crossfire setup that Edward and Simple have there. I think it was pretty showing that, C's playing in the window. One of the early info in drop, so that he knew if anybody jumped down, but still he was playing outside of drop, so that he gets the info early, can get out and then play with mates. Unfortunately, he died, but his teammates quick to set up the round there. And a good Molotov from Edward, in fact. He Molotovs the player off of the optic boost, but no boost was in fact happening that time around, so an interesting angle from Guardian, and I'm actually liking this. I don't think I've ever seen this, but that's actually a very interesting angle. Very aggressive angle as well, and he's gonna see some aggression. Valdi gonna be taking him down. Might even just explode out of pop here. Yugi willing to take the fight, but not for an eternity. Drops off it, and now the pressure is starting to mount. NaVi here. They know that they are down in drop. Valde has to be in drop, and they know it. So Guardian has to constantly be aware that someone could be behind him. Simple with a good angle. Bit of a missed smoke perhaps, but now Guardian, he really needs to get out fast on this A-bomb site. Needs to get out through the heavens. In fact, just plays a retake, it seems. Considering it, Simple with the help. Gonna be taking down Muddy, and a very crucial kill. Changes the tides of this round. Guardian with another great frag. Guardian taken down by Yugi though, and Nico with one. So the youngsters combine brilliantly. The duo of Yugi and Nico. We've seen it so many times before, and we are going to be seeing it here again. This time, is it enough? A great spray control by Edward. Not going to call it a spray transfer. I guess it was, since it was transferred from one player to the other, but wasn't like it was instant or anything. But good spray nonetheless. A great showcase of spray control there from Edward. And just all in all, a good round. A very key round. Had they lost that NaVi, they would have been pretty much broke. And instead, it's going to be Heroic, who all sit there with about 4k. The only guy who actually has enough money to get proper utility is Nico. The rest, just a flash and a smoke combined. So, looking at this, them running out of spawn, 5 guys run towards B. It does look like some sort of a B rush strat. Currently just faking the default, it seems. And Edward once again throwing a deep Molotov. They aren't gonna check him. He's gonna get one. Body gets traded by Guardian, and then Guardian with another. Can he get more? Not quite a third. Yugi now up on plant. Got a lot to do, and it's not gonna be done today. By the Danish Orpa Guardian, the top dog in this ordeal. But Nico, it's good to see him waking up. Had a bit of a bad first map. I'm actually not quite sure how it ended for him personally, but at least at halftime I think he was 6-13 and lost a lot of... I'm not going to call them easy duels, but a lot of duels that he normally would have won. So seeing him now with 9 kills is really good for his team, because they need everyone to be firing on all cylinders here. And currently, not the case, of course, but Nico being the one to fire the least on his cylinder, or cylinders. It's good to see him stepping up, is what I'm trying to say. He's definitely needed by this team. Flamey botches the nade, but still gets one. Gets traded quickly though. Now they are down and drop again. They are being pushed. Seized tries to retake the drop, and now they're going to be taken down by Seized, in fact, and then gets traded out. In the meantime, though, we have Muddy, who's all the way up A, and I'm liking this. It's exactly what they need, but he might be timed by Simple. Simple's actually just watching his back, so they might be getting a free bomb plant, and Muddy might, in fact, even find this kill. He is not going to check this corner, though. Simple gets a free frag. Smart play from him, and now Snappy. Oh, and Simple still reads it. That's such a clever play. Snappy needs this kill, and he gets it as well. Now an AK, a smoke, 3 kills, in fact. A bomb and a dream. He's got the smoke to work with. He's going to be saving it for the after plant, it seems. So he's just faking out the bomb plant. It didn't look like Simple was the A anchor. It looked like Simple was the rotate player. That's why he's faking the bomb plant here. It's not a bad bet. Going to be smoking off so he can play in this smoke. And Gonna be going towards cannons. Edward, is he aware? He's not Guardian though, with his shot through the smoke. And a very crucial one at that. Snappy almost putting his entire team on the back there. 4 kills in the round. 4 kills out of his 5 in 8 rounds in 1 round there. Guardian with a very, very good shot through the smoke. It was needed by his teammates. Had he missed that shot, I think Snappy was on 44 HP. But still, it's a tough clutch for Guardian because he has the timer to worry about, and I think he had an upgraded pistol, so he could have probably taken out Snappy. But still, it just makes it much harder. I think it's if I was Guardian, I'd definitely take the smoke shot any day of the week. I don't know who wouldn't, but NaVi actually playing really light on A here. It just seems to be simple playing A by himself. Can't really say he's done a bad job, and 62 is definitely not a bad scoreline. Cobblestone, wow, Cobblestone usually not a map where you get that many rounds on CT. It's usually like a 9-6, but a good kill by Simple onto Nico. And actually, again, we saw Simple taking a bit of a weird and a risky angle here in Matrix. It's not really a common angle, especially not after what my team calls the Freiburg smoke, the map control smoke that the T's throw. And that's why he caught out Nico. So, a really good play by him. We saw him with good awareness in the other round where he kind of acted as the rotate player, even though he obviously wasn't. We're going to be flashing out. The T's are going to be trying to take plat control here. Guardian just barely behind. Gets a flash. No one's blind though, it seems. Guardian re-peeks and Valley takes him down. Now it's up to the CTs on the side. There are only 2 here. A very, very important frag from Edward. It is going to be shot in the side though, but Seized trades that out. And now Seized also got Muddy. So Yugi in a 1 versus 3 clutch. Fakes out the bomb plant. Seized is going to push, and it looks like it's all said and done. Yugi taken out. Let me just move away from my microphone and cough a bit because my throat is just acting up. So just a sec. Hello guys, my name is NATO Sapphics and I'm back. Hopefully that helped because my throat has been acting up today during this cast, and it's a bit hard to build hype when halfway through it you just get caught off because of your throat. So a much more one-sided affair here at the beginning. The overpass game was close from start to finish, and it seemed like whenever you thought that one team had it, they didn't. And here on Cobblestone, it just seems like NaVi in the driver's seat, 7-2. As I said, I mean 6 rounds on CT side. That's definitely doable. That's you know, it's possible to work with that. So 7 rounds already. That's yeah, that's borderline amazing here. So I feel like NaVi struggled a bit on the T side and overpass. I think Heroic has had a better T side today. So NaVi are gonna need all the CT rounds that they can get. Yugi down the drop with an AWP, such a cool play. Definitely one I'm a big fan of, and takes down Guardian. The reason Guardian reacts that slowly is because he definitely doesn't anticipate an AWP to peek him in that angle, so he just assumes, you know, that he can take his time. And Simple, we see it again, these mid-round decisions from him are amazing. Edward, free frag, and that's the bomb dropped as well. So now all they need to worry about is the guys coming out from drop. Yugi out quick, Alday with a bit of a failed spray, but Simple 1 and 2. And Yugi gonna be pushing. No scope, Simple. The round is doable, but hard. He's not even gonna attempt it, and I think that's a decent shout. 15 seconds left. He basically has to run knife out up towards the side, and you know, he doesn't have a smoke for the cross and doors. He doesn't have a flash for the cross from heaven. As soon as he starts the plant, one guy can just go out and challenge him, and either he kills him when the bomb is down, or he, you know, stops Yugi from planting the bomb. And if that happens, then obviously it's round lost no matter what. So I think it's a good decision by Yugi. Well aware here. But again, just I really feel like, obviously the scores show this, that Simple is just a beast right now, but I just it just goes to show that he's more than just aim, you know. He's very brainy as well. These kills that he's getting, it's not him just walking into a site or, you know, running into the T's, brainlessly aiming, out-aiming people. It's actually because he's very, very clever. Valde, not so clever. Jumping down into a Molotov, gets him killed. Muddy trades out the kill though. Guardian, oh, unfortunate timing. Now it's going to be pincered from both angles here. And Muddy, in key position. Close to the doors, Yugi. Looked like he was blinded up, but still gets the frag. Simple. Not much he can do from that position. A third round on the board for Heroic. So, not bad for Heroic. They need to start getting rounds, but also they need to start stringing rounds together. They even got the pistol round as well, and they're behind 8-3. So, definitely not what you'd be hoping for. Especially because, yeah, as I said, I feel like, at least on Overpass, what we saw was a very good T-side display. And I'm not so sure. I'm not saying that they're necessarily bad on CT. It's just I kind of expected more, and I think they themselves expected more, and they might need more. But Nico takes Seized out of the equation, and Edward drops as well. So 5 versus 3 now in favor of Heroic. Snappy might even find another, and he does. What a great shot from him. Guardian, watching the angle, gets flashed. Still actually takes a frag on Yugi somehow, and then he gets killed. So now Simple gonna just be trying to save. I don't think he's gonna be just saving. I think he's gonna try to get some kills. It's up to Heroic now to. I mean, the economy on NaVi's side is horrendous, and what we'd probably see, no matter what, is NaVi buying next round with, you know, just buying up some pistols and Cavaliers. But if Simple save this FAMAS, it's 100% that they're going to be doing that, I'd say. So what Simple wants is obviously to upgrade his gun. If he gets an AWP, which is unlikely, or if he gets an AK or an M4, I guess that's, you know, that's I think it's kind of worth the risk, because they're going to be pistols anyway. It's not likely that he can change the round with a single FAMAS, and you see him looking for the AK. It is actually, in fact, the second round lost and roasted. They might not buy this. Had he had an AK, I think they would have forced up around this. But I don't think they will now. They won't, it appears. But also, Simple can go and kind of waste that FAMAS if he wants, because, as I said, it's obviously, or not obviously, but it's unlikely that it's going to be winning them the round here. And any kill that he can get on the Heroic side is a big bonus. But a very explosive A strategy here for Heroic, and I'm liking this. The only problem is that there are a lot of NaVi members here on this bomb side, and Simple is rotating in quick, so it's basically going to be a 5 versus 5 battle here on the A side. And that FAMAS, as I said, not going to be changed this round, but Guardian and Seized, they're doing theirs to change this round. And Yugi drops the AWP, and doesn't appear to be the best idea. He at least gets taken down. Snappy finds Edward in the end, and him and Nico gets all of the frags, but just look at how close that round got. I think 24 and 34 HP. That's not a lot. Could have changed, and well, it could have easily been the other way around with NaVi picking up that round. So had they done that, it would have been a 9-4, and Heroic would be broke except for Snappy. He would have had the financials to be able to drop pistols for the entire team or a single rifle. So, but interesting smoke. This, I'm just gonna actually follow this. I'm not sure where this lands. So this goes into pop. That's actually interesting. Now I don't think I can swap off this smoke, so that bug still isn't fixed. That's nice to know. I haven't casted it in such a long time, but this bug still is there. So a lot of back and forth here. 2 versus 1 actually. Simple needs to make a play. We'll try to see if we can't catch him. I'll make sure to not follow smokes anymore, guys. But yeah, an interesting smoke, not one you see normally. But, you know, 4 rounds in a row from Heroic. It was an 8-2 with NaVi just picking up all of the rounds, like 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 1, 3. Like, it did seem like they had everything under control, but Heroic are definitely changing up the pace now, and it seems to be working for them. Bit of a missed grenade there. He's wanted it to bounce off the wall, but wow, what a shot from Valdi. Let's make sure to go auto-director here as well. Simple. Again, pushing out. Gonna be taking down Flamey. Does it better though. Gonna be getting 1 kill at least. Valdi and Snappy, in fact, is the one to get that kill. Edward could be getting a kill onto Nico. He does. Picks up a rifle. Now it's all of a sudden doable. Edward needs to be aware that they're already quite far out, and is. Snappy takes him out. Gets a quick bomb plant. One guy is lurking from behind. It is Flamey. They do know about it though. A good headshot from Flamey. Takes the first. 1 versus Yugi. Yugi has to play the pistol. Up close and personal. And Yugi, look at this. It's so smart. Inches closer, but Flamey is the smarter. And for some reason picks up the op. It doesn't really matter much, because it obviously is the last round of the half. But nice to see that NaVi gets this last round. You don't want Heroic to start building momentum, especially not because you just had the reins for this entire half, and then as soon as they dropped that 1 round, obviously they dropped the pistol round, they lost the 2nd round, and then they even actually won the 3rd round. They didn't have a lot of armors on it though, 4 armors to be exact, but then they got 8 consecutive rounds, NaVi, and then they started giving the momentum back to Heroic. So I'm happy for Flamey and the guys that they managed to pick up that last round, because that just kills off any momentum that Heroic did have. And that 9th round is just it's such a more comfortable lead to be 9-6 up than 8-7. 8-7 it can't get any closer. So yeah, I think this 9th round might just be instrumental here. I think, I mean, looking at it from a strictly statistical point, I'd say this half quite heavily favors NaVi, but looking at it from just my point of view or whatever, I am interested in seeing what NaVi bring on their T side, because I know I've mentioned this a lot, but I do still believe that from Overpass, Heroic definitely had the better T side. NaVi, they didn't really have any team cohesion on that map, it seemed. But it was basically simple going off, and this game has been simple going off. You kind of slowed down towards the end when they started losing rounds, but obviously you can't always be amazing. So we're just waiting, obviously, for the halftime break to be up. And I don't know. I think I'd like to see some fast rounds from NaVi, because I think, at least on Overpass, and this is only like the only real map that I can go off of, because these teams don't play each other that often. The only real match that I can go off of, I feel, is the Overpass that we just saw. And in terms of just the default, Heroics was miles better. So Cobblestone, not an as default heavy map, I guess you can say. On Overpass, your default is instrumental. On Cobblestone, not so much. But what I'm interested in seeing here is, it's very meta right now, and it has been for some time, to as CT take control of the B plat. We did see NaVi do it a few rounds. I think maybe only one. Let's try to find it here. Where you just obviously smoke off the right side and then Molotov the left side. I think we saw NaVi do it once, maybe twice, but I don't think they did it enough. Again, I'm not sitting here claiming I'm some sort of an expert, and I'm definitely in no position to tell a legendary team like NaVi how to play CS. But just from what I've seen of like I feel like teams. I mean, I practice against a lot of the gooder the gooder teams, the better teams. So, you know, I don't know who we faced on Cobo recently, but like it just seems that it's very meta right now to take plat control a lot. I think I'm not sure if it was Penta we played, where they just took plat control almost every round as CT, and that's kind of their goal. A team like Singularity as well like to take plat control. So it definitely is very meta, and if you can do it properly, it is pretty good, because it kind of messes with the T's default, where you usually only have one guy with the AWP watching this angle, maybe sometimes two guys on plat. But if you just get the plat control, it's really hard for the T's to sell a fake towards B, and it just means that you have the information early if they go B, except if they go down drop. But then they, you know, drop is obviously not. Drop is good for splitting either A or B. Drop is not really that great at being a means to go straight onto a side. We see Guardian with a bit of utility here. And there's only one player playing on A. They're going to just be trying to chase him here up through danger. They are rushing through a few guys over to the A bomb site now. I'm liking this. This is actually also a very common T-pistol, where you just have one guy who's holding the B map control, and you have four guys rushing Matrix, because usually, obviously, you have the numbers advantage. There's generally not four guys in Matrix in a pistol round, and as soon as you get that map control, you can take it without any grenades used. Then you can use that to fake, or you can use that to, yeah, make a play. We see actually drop zone is open here, so this is actually a very good call in my opinion. Unfortunately, Heroic kind of have the read, and they have three guys towards the same bomb site, and they have Modi and Yugi who pick up some really good shots. Modi with a second, Modi with a third, Edward going to be taking him out. Edward actually digging up Snappy with 1 HP left. He does survive, but a cool little strat. I'm liking the fact that they try to do an A execute, which allows Seized to go down drop, simply because the player who's playing the window on drop in the pistol rounds has already rotated to A. So a cool strat, doesn't quite work out for them. I think maybe in such a round, it's obviously easy for me to say because I have the overview of what's happening, but if Seized had played a more passive look, it might have worked better. Make the four guys who try to push A, make them try to, you know, push the side. He can cut off the rotation, and they could potentially go back to B, or he could just play it late so that when the players on A have gotten 1 or 2 kills, then he can backstab the third guy. But again, I'm not in any position to tell them how to play the game. Seized once again playing the drop. It seems like this is his go-to spot. Simple and Guardian being removed by Snappy. Gets a third one, in fact, and Yugi now chimes in with 1. And now it's all left to Seized, who just gets seen by Valde. But Heroic looking to get back into the match, and Snappy. I've been singing this guy's praises all day long. Well, not all day, but this best of 2, and I just feel like he consistently positively surprises me. This best of 2, it's he really wants to win. It's nice to see. So he's definitely putting in hours, a lot of hard work. Simple had 15 kills, I believe, after like 10 rounds, and hasn't picked up a single since. Is he not gonna get burned? Okay, doesn't really matter. Gets naded. And now, ooh, a good flash actually. They're gonna be catching out Valde, so with no armor, and then another dink as well onto Nico. And all of the players actually rotating off of the A bomb site. One guy rotating back. It's Snappy. But drop zone open now, and Seized has been playing it quite a bit. But Snappy wising up. They're going to be just jumping down. Only gets 1. Edward with the picked up UMP, and now they have 2. Double the guns, but also it seems to be double the frags for Yugi. Not quite. Modi comes in from behind. and takes one. So we have Snappy on top of the scoreboard. With him, almost, is Nico. And we are going to be going into the first buy round. This is the first, you know, apart from the piss round, the first real interesting round, I'd say. So we'll see if NaVi have anything good in store for us. I was pleasantly surprised by the piss round. It looked like an elaborate strat. And Flamey gonna be taken down. Muddy Seized actually finds value with the Molotov as well. So now Nico gets one, needs to get more though and doesn't. So Heroic, 2 guys left, and it looks like they're already saving. I think that's a good choice. I mean, 3 of the NaVi members are low, but because it was such a chaotic round, it can be quite hard to realize who you've actually hit, you know. Obviously you can tell that, okay, I gave this guy, let's say, 70, 80 ish, but it's just hard to know if you, let's say, for example, Edward, some guy hit him about 60, right? He's maybe saying I gave him half HP, and then they're actually going to be exiting right out into Snappy. The guys with the low HP goes first. Not sure that's a good decision. The money is very, very poor, and Snappy might even find more. He might find them all here. Oh, if that nade had just dunked. But what I was just trying to get across is just the fact that it can sometimes be hard. One guy gave his enemy about 50, and if some other guy believes he only hit him twice instead of 3 times, for example, then he might also have given him 50, but it might be, no, he might be on 1 HP or whatever. It's hard to know if you've made 2 guys low in such a chaotic round. It can be sometimes, at least. And some of it could be, you know, grenade damage as well, so that makes it even harder. But still, a very, very well played round by NaVi. In fact, it's not like it's any, you know, tactical masterpiece, but they do make it work. They get the kills that they need, and they got a very, very vital round. That's the first buy round. The only problem is that we are in a buy round again, obviously, off of this pause. But Edward, because they lost 3 guns, has to play a Deagle, and he barely has any utility. He doesn't even have armor, in fact, so he's been kind enough to drop an AWP for Guardian, I believe. And had they not lost those 3 players, their money would have been looking much better. Right now, they're all pretty much broke, so couldn't, like, Simple have at least dropped him a UMP or something? I don't know. UMP is pretty powerful. Just send that guy in as the first guy, and then Edward could have bought an armor instead. Yeah, well, that's probably just the choice they made, or poor communication. Or maybe Edward just feels the Deagle. I mean, sometimes that happens. So, the Freiburg smoke, what I call the Freiburg smoke, to take the map control on A. And Guardian actually with the AWP going first. That's a bit interesting. A good setup here by Muddy and Snappy, and Muddy taking out Flamey. So no trades from NaVi. It doesn't even look like they're gonna contest it, but now they are. They're just setting this up in what must have been a picture-perfect flashbang, because 2 guys just looked into the wall, seized with a 3K off the back of that great retake of Danger. And now Valet jumps out, and then he jumps back in and realizes maybe it's time to save. So Simple, wow, just gets shot by Guardian. I love tap, but yeah, good round by Seized. I really liked, you know, instead of just going in hot-headed in Danger, what they actually did was, and this is actually, you know, where I was obviously mistaken. I said there's no trades or anything, and at first there wasn't. Yugi picks up Simple here. But at first there wasn't, but it was just because NaVi knew that if Muddy is playing inside of Danger, he's likely not playing alone, so they wanted to push Danger from both sides. And they did that did that, and they did that to perfection. So not only that, I think they also had, I'm not sure if it was a cracked flash, obviously Auto Director didn't show us, but it looked like Snappy was completely blinded anyway, and we didn't even see what happened to Muddy, but he was already dead, so I assume he might have potentially been blind as well, or at least he died early. So I like the idea where they lose one guy, they know that, okay, they're cornered in, and then they just wait a few seconds, set up the retake in danger, and just retake it from both sides. So, really good comms by NaVi, really good heads-up play, and yeah, it gives them the 11th round. Good Molotov. He actually, in fact, clips Edward's leg. Nico, free frag for him. Gonna be taking out Edward. And now, it does look like a bit of a B execute, but they are second-guessing themselves. It did look like it was gonna be a B-side execute, but because of the smoke there, they're just stepping towards A to fake. So it looks to be the case. They know the AWP is still here, and usually if the AWP is towards a site, it's because that's where the T's want to end. So them hearing Guardian here gives them a good idea that it's probably going to be a B-side take still. And Nico willing to take this fight with Guardian, and Nade only gives 2 damage actually, but now Nico has to commit to a fight because Valde goes down, and once again, sees with these lurks and drop, he's just perfect on these timings. Now it's interesting to see if Heroic will boost up a guy and drop. It's something that you can usually do. The only problem is it's kind of a guy stuck inside of Pop. That's an interesting angle actually, I didn't even know that. Guardian and Seized take 1 apiece, and Yugi not much health, and surely they're going on the chase. Yeah, they are. Liking the Guardian, who's actually kind of the closest man who can shut off his exit, just goes and chases instantly because he knows that he's low. He's unfortunately a bit too late, and he's not aware. He's actually hiding over in the corner. Guardian just barely spotted him, but not quite. Yugi sometimes steps out, it looks like, so if Guardian catches a timing here... Oh, that's actually so unlucky. He might find him here though, but Yugi will probably get the kill, and he will. So Yugi does a good job of saving his rifle. This AWP. Also picked up the first kill on the guy boosted up on plat here. We'll just fly over to the B plat. So in the after plant, the T's boosted up a guy, and Yugi was just well aware. And that's just good heads up play from him. It's usually, I mean, I wouldn't call it an easy way to get a kill, but it's just if you have the read that they're probably boosting, the guy boosted will never really anticipate an AWP holding an angle on him. But a really, really fast play out towards B here. Changing up the pace. Simple gets the first. Might even find more. There's a guy sitting inside the smokes. That's Nico. He's down and out. And Simple finds another. Takes the AWP. Tries to get out of there. Edward blocks him a bit, but still manages to hang on to dear life. And Seized. The guy who has been the master of drop this cobblestone match still tries to control his usual spot, and does get taken out by Muddy. Guardian hits the shot, and it's all left to Snappy. He doesn't really have anything to save. Now he does though. He could find an AK, and they aren't actually even going to contest him. Simple is low, and they seem to be wanting to run a double AWP here on T side. That's actually quite interesting. We'll likely see one AWP going to B and one AWP going to A, so they can kind of work. Seized is getting the AWP. Okay, this is interesting. This is very interesting. I'm actually very interested in seeing what they're going to do with these AWPs. So, Seized is going to the B plat. He might just go for an early peek because he had the best spawn. No, he's in fact just baiting it out. Acting like they're playing a B default, where you'd usually have the AWP consisting plat. But in fact, it's actually an A default, where there's 4 guys towards A. And there's an AWP. So, what he's kind of... Ooh, there's an aid. That could have cost him his life. But they're hoping that someone over-peaks on Heroic or tries to make a play because they know that the AWP is towards B, I'm assuming. And then Guardian can get a good opportunity to actually get a frag. But Heroic, they are just going to be playing it passively. It seems to be the best bet. There's only 1 minute left on the clock, and CTs have a decent setup, it appears. One guy down close mid and one guy playing from top of mid. That's a phenomenal flash from Yugi. NaVi unfortunately gets caught out. Now Yugi, he really needs to do a lot of work if he wants his team to stay in this round. And he gets blind up still, somehow manages to stay alive. Yugi, the angle is just off, Simple takes him out. And the CTs probably will be looking to save now, especially since Valde got tagged. Looking at the money, this seems like a very good bet. They have no opportunity to buy next round. Obviously always have, but they're gonna be having a very, very bad buy. I am not well, I mean, it does somewhat make sense to play the B site for the retake, I guess. Simply because they don't know whether or not, as soon as the bomb got planted, someone went on the chase. But yeah, it's definitely nice that Heroic, they're not peeking for kills. They're not looking for kills. They're just, you know, they'll take any kill that comes to them, but it's not like they're actively trying to search for a duel. I think that's good, because you definitely don't want to lose your rifle in that round, especially because NaVi have such a strong economy that even if you get 1 or 2 kills, it won't really impact them that much. You need to start grinding out rounds. And at the same time, Heroic really needed those rifles, because now they have 5 rifles, one of them being an AWP. So that's nice. So we'll see. We still have the double AWP here. Worked out last round. Valde so lucky to actually stay alive there, and seized 9 HP. Once again, drops very low due to the spray through the smoke, and then takes a nade that gives him 2 damage. It's pretty incredible. He's like invincible, just grenade shrapnel. Hits his big toe and still survives. Guardian, a very, very important frag, and another huge frag from Guardian. Gonna be speeding up through mid. And Modi, quick to come out, plays up towards the wall. Not even quite sure what you'd call that in English. In Danish, or at least in my team, we call it MSL or Messel. I think you could call it China. I'm not sure what you actually call it in English. But anyway, really, really good entries from Guardian. He took out Yugi, who's playing in danger. Very, very important kill. And then, while his team was kind of pressuring Nico, who had to commit to a fight because him and Yugi were in a committed setup, he got him in the side. And now it's Heroic once again looking to save. And this time NaVi are on the chase, because they only need 1 more round and they have a ton of money. So if they get these 2 rifles, it's really, really big. Now, well, Flamey gets one of the rifles, and Bounty is gonna manage to survive. So that means that they can get an AWP. I'm not sure if Valde dropped that. No, it was Modi who dropped that AWP, I think. But at least they do get 5 rifles again, one of them being an AWP again. It's not really looking that great for Heroic. I kind of wish we would see Yugi try to get some aggressive openings with the AWP. I don't know, it's just, we have only really seen him play passive this whole game, I'd say. I mean, on T side we didn't really see anything magical from him, and here on CC side it's not like we've seen any aggressive peaks. Valde in the one-way takes down Simple. He's just gonna stay here. That's so ballsy, and almost finds Flamey as well. So for once, an entry frag going Heroic's way on the back of that one-way smoke. And Velde really is the master of one-way smokes. The guy knows so many one-way smokes, it's insane. But looking good for Heroic this round. Guardian and Flamey both low. On the opposite side, only Muddy slightly low. Nico should be getting this kill 10 out of 10. And he does. So now Seized has no one to flash through. And Edward needs to find a frag. Needs probably 2 here to even make the round doable. Guardian isn't going to be finding anything from down mid here. They're still feeling out the map. And I like this, but Edward, he really needs to get a kill, and he doesn't, so Seized again gets a kill and drop, but Valde with his rifle gonna be picking up Seized. I mean, it's a bit of a it's a bit weird to cast these rounds because it's just like, you know, it's not executes, it's not like there's a ton of trades or anything. It's just like one guy gets a kill and then I don't know, it's just like 1 versus 1 battles all the time. It's really weird. It doesn't seem like very team-based Counter-Strike, but I think it's just, you know, both teams obviously making it really hard for the other team to play a team-based game. That's usually how it is, of course. I don't think Heroic sat down before this match and said, you know what, we should just play really individually this this cobblestone match. But I'm liking what I'm seeing here from Heroic. They're kind of taking a gamble. And also NaVi, I mean, they are having a decent read. But now, since Heroic didn't get any early input, there's a sort of an execute going out on the B side. They're going to be roasting Nova. And Muddy gets the first strike. He's quicker than back here. Flamey not reacting to it. And Edward trades out Muddy, but might be found by Yugi and will just barely. So 2 NaVi members left. Straight through the smoke. Might catch one, and it does. Nico takes down Seized, and now it's all left as simple. An AWP and a Dream. A Tech 9. A Smoke, 40 HP, and 4 enemies to find. He could play this because of the economy. He's just gonna throw down his Tech 9 to bait that he switched out a weapon. The problem now is, though, that he doesn't have a pistol, and with 40 HP and 4 members to find, it's going to be pretty tough. Well, it was Nico, in fact. But a bit overzealous, perhaps. There's really no reason he's in such an open position. Simple still trying this. A lot of good information from Valde. It's just a really weird round now. Simple looking to save, but I think it's Yugi coming from the back lines. There's really nowhere to go. He's going to try and head for the hills. Good bunny hop, actually. Might find Yugi here. Well, Yugi just pins him to the floor. And he even actually hit that shot through a wall. I think it was just, you know, slightly through a wall, but still a pretty good shot from Yugi. And a good showcase of, you know, how important it is to use your movement when you face off against an AWPer. Simple bunny hopping across, so Yugi didn't have a clear shot, and then Yugi actually jumping across, so Simple doesn't have an angle on him. It's definitely, you know, good awareness by both players. But again, Heroic doing a 3-man stack on A, and when they don't get any info here on the first 15 or so seconds of the round, they just fall back in a way more passive setup, and they rotate that one guy off. So I don't know if they've got a read from what NaVi have been doing throughout this half. I don't really feel like that's been the case, though. Like that would counter what they've been doing. So I don't know if it's like a read from watching demos. But NaVi are actually going to take map control here on A, and it's going to be very silent. It's not like they're using a lot of grenades to take this, even though they do know that Yugi has an AWP. So it's very interesting, and it's a good call, it seems like. The only problem is that the CTs do have plant handled pretty well, and so the CTs are stacking towards the A bomb site now. That's going to make it really tough for NaVi if they end up going towards this site. Seized, gonna be lurking. Valde, if he finds him, this might just be it, but Seized gonna be taken, gonna get taken down And counter flash is coming in. Guardian needs this frag, gets it. Snappy drops. Simple. Behind the Molotov. Yugi with the behind SWAT. Needs to be found and needs to be quick. 12 seconds left. 10 seconds. Guardian gets shot in the back. Flamey takes one down. Simple with the bomb. He does find the other. There's no time though, and they don't know where Valde is. Oh, Simple just thought about it but didn't quite get it. And now if Flamey goes down, that would be horrible. He doesn't. But the big bank that NaVi had built up, it's now gone. And that does give Heroic some sort of a chance back into this half. What they'd obviously, and this is, yeah, I'm saying obviously because it is quite obvious, but what's very, very key here for Heroic is that they win a round where there are a lot of members alive, at least 3 or so. Rebuying an op is not going to be a possibility at this current point in time. At least not next round if they lose it, so they need to make sure that they save the op into the next round and they're going to be playing without. And at the same time, they're going to be low on utility and low on guns just altogether. Good counter nades. A bit off with the timing though. Yugi sees Flamey, takes him down. Now he needs to smoke himself off. Snappy actually playing this smoke really nicely. Edward goes down, Seas finds Muddy. Seas gets found though by Yugi, and now Snappy peeks up, kills off Guardian. Simple inside of Connector. If he gets this one kill, he might win this round. Simple. Would this be the round? Oh my god, such a smart play. Doesn't quite work out for him. I'm just gonna cough real quick, guys. And we also get a pause, that's perfect. So I'm back. Okay, so while we have a pause here, I might as well just fly over to the connector. Simple actually somehow maneuvered his way into connector, and I really like that play because it's a play where the CTs usually don't know if you're in connector. Like if you even make it into connector, it's usually because they don't know, or you won't, you know, get a chance to be there for an elongated time. But he gets the first frag, and B is actually clear. I'm not entirely sure that he knew that B was clear, and I think that's kind of why he smoked it off and looked for the frag. It could just be the case that he obviously looked for an opening frag, and then if he killed off Nico, then he would run through his own smoke. That's also a possibility. I just think that it's more likely that he was unsure. But then again, I don't know why he would, you know, be in a position where he'd think when the CTs for sure knew that it was going to be an A play, right? So why would they have a play on B? It's probably just to fake it out and then try to get that kill and then run B afterwards. But one thing that actually works really well, and something I haven't seen any pro players do, it's actually just, you know, smoking off the doors, for example. And in a round like this, it's a perfect scenario in my opinion. So you smoke off the doors, right, and then you plant here. So in this corner, the CTs either have to defuse the bomb while looking at plant, which is obviously the more likely place that they're going to be, or they're going to have to be up on the, you know, the small, the rim of the bomb site, and look down on the bomb, right? So what you can do is actually, if you somehow manage to sneak your way through drop or something like that and come behind connector, then you can play the after plant from connector because the bomb is planted for you, and the CC's diffusing can't look at you in connector while diffusing. So it's quite easy to get, you know, a kill or two on a guy not looking, and then it's really easy to actually play the after plant from there. So I'm not saying that would have won the round or anything. I'm just trying to give off a few tips. It's something that I don't see anybody really do, but it does work out really, really well. It's a trick I was taught by my good friend Netrick. So it's good stuff. But NaVi, who looked like a sure winner before, are now a bit pressured, both on money but also in terms of rounds. It's 15-13 and they have to make a play. The play is going to be delayed. And we do actually have a massive flank here from Snappy. And Edward is going to check it, and now Snappy's found out, and he's even dropped very low. So now NaVi are just doing a mid-run call saying, okay, we need to just go fast, they try to see if we can catch this guy. It does not appear to be the case. So the CTs need to repopulate the A-bomb site soon, and it does look like that rotation is going to be coming in. So now, without catching the guy and only 25 seconds left, NaVi need to make a tough decision, and it seems like it's going to be some sort of a B fake. But it's not working out too well for them. It does look better though, now that Flamey gets that one kill, but only one survivor on the A-bomb side, and he's going to get taken out. Yugi doesn't get a much easier kill than that. Tries to look for another, doesn't get it. And they really need to get hold of this AWP. And they do. They do have a bit of economy. They could have rebought the AWP, but there's no real reason to throw it away if you can regain it. And they did so. So Snappy on 25. Top fragger, not only for his team, but in this whole match. While pulling the strings for his team. So NaVi now with 2 Galils, 3 AKs. Scrappy buy, to say the least. And low utility. Simple almost gets the kill. That could have really changed the round and the whole game. If he gets that kill and just speeds up afterwards. Just, you know, getting that kind of space to work the map. Taking out one of the CT players is just golden. Had he won that fight, I think we would have seen NaVi win this round. But a great kill by Edward. Wise enough to know that that one way that Valdi used earlier is in fact the one way. And gets the kill. Unfortunately, Muddy gets a kill on the other side of the site. Oh, well, on the other side of the map at the same time. Edward with 2 more though. 3 kills for him. Sees, blind up, gets taken out by Yugi. And now a flank. It's Snappy. Edward needs this kill, doesn't get it. Guardian, very top position. And looks like Snappy is going to be getting the kill. So overtime it is. And while we're here, let me just check on the ESL Pro League standings, because they obviously changed after the first map. We'll see if this this game is still important, because it was important before, but I don't think it is now, simply because FaZe Clan have taken the 6th spot. I'm not quite sure who they beat. I'm gonna just check up on that while we have a break here. So FaZe Clan beat wait, what? Why do I only see one match here? FaZe Clan didn't beat anybody. Oh, it must have been Astralis then, I guess. Who overtook. Yeah, that would make sense. I think no, wait. Now I see it, I think. I think Fnatic. Yeah, Fnatic won both their matches, right? That's what happened. And then they pushed everyone else down. So they beat Mouse Sports on one map, and they beat them on the other as well. Yeah, so that's what happened. So Fnatic went from 7th to 4th. So that's what happened. So if NaVi win this, I think it's some sort of a tiebreaker with FaZe for the 6th spot. So a very important map for NaVi, perhaps, but Heroic unfortunately already out of it. So it's not something that is going to help them with their run in the ESL Pro League. Well, some interesting matches. I'm actually quite sad that Kingwin are out of ESL Pro League. They were already before they played the matches today, I'm pretty sure. But they ended up losing both of them anyway. Which probably, you know, is the case slightly because they already knew they were out, so you know, playing the last 2 matches isn't really going to affect much. Not saying they threw or anything, it's just, you know, you just don't really have the same motivation to play, I guess. But It's unfortunate. I think I actually really like Kingwin, but they're not really playing that well recently. But I think picking up Hyper is a good change. So hopefully that will end up being a good move in the future. But yeah, I'm just filling time here while the teams get ready to play the overtime. I'm just gonna get something to drink, and you guys can just sit here in peace and quiet. So I kind of wish I had the chat up right now so I could ask you guys questions, or you could ask me questions. I'm considering. I'm gonna just open the chat while we wait here. Boom. So I'm just gonna open the chat. Who is the caster? NATO Sapphics. Yes, that's me. Face is already qualified. This game can't change anything anymore. Okay, there we go. I don't know how they did the tiebreakers, and I saw that they would be on the same amount of points. So, but yeah, Fnatic qualified for the LAN. So you guys can ask me some questions, or you can say I'm a bad caster or whatever. You feel like you can also tell me I'm a good caster if that's what you feel like. But basically, we're just waiting for the players to begin here again. Actually, while I'm... Hang on, just a sec. I'll just do this. Well. Nice. Good. Then I can go into the game so you don't just watch something standing still. I'm not sure, did you do that? Oh yeah, I think you did. I'm not sure though. But anyway, we're going to be starting up again, so that's nice. So, overtime commences. It's the first round of overtime. NaVi is going to be starting on the T side. They had a really strong showing. Actually, it's funny because it's kind of been like a game of 4 halves. NaVi were up 8-2 on the CT side, and then... Wait, does Simple not have a gun? What is going on? Oh, okay. It was just the go... Wait. Oh, he just bought now, I think. That's weird. Well, basically, NaVi took a huge lead at the beginning. On the CT side, and then they took a huge lead on T side. They were up like 15-9, I think, and then they still managed to well, not lose it, but they managed to at least go to overtime. So they can't really be happy with that. But Seized's lurk in drop. We'll see if this pays off. It has paid off massively so far for him. Yugi and Snappy getting one each. Yugi getting another. Good decision from him to go for another frag, and Valde has surely heard Seized, takes him out, and now it's all left to Flamey. I feel like every time I say Flamey, he throws a Molotov. But yeah, I'm just waiting for the day that I say Cold Sarah and he throws like an ice grenade. That's a really bad joke. Anyway, I'm not even sure if that's actually a joke, but maybe I am. Muddy picks up Flamey after he gets a frag. That puts Heroic on 16-5, so... So we're going to be seeing Heroic and NaVi. Going to be facing off here on the B-bomb site, by the looks of things. And NaVi just waiting patiently here. Good flashes going over. They are going to be trying to take the flat control here. Heroic. They do get the first kill as well. That's Seized. And they get the second. Valde takes him down. Flamey flies instantly. So 4 versus 3 in favor of the CCs. And look at the another massive flank from Snappy. Look at this. They do have the read, and this time he's not going to push further because he is the wiser. But gets the timing just right here. Muddy, very crucial kill, gets it. Needs to just stay alive so the flank can come in. A good flash as well. Free kill for Snappy, except if Muddy kills him. Okay, that was not a free kill. It sounded like a bit of a struggle. But let's not count Flamey out here. Gets the first frag. And he is 1 versus 2. Is smoked out, but does have the time to work with. And Yugi is afraid that he's getting pushed. I understand why he thinks so. But it's not the case. Not currently, anyway. Flash coming out from Snappy. And Yugi with the deadly shot. Gonna just be taking out Flamey. And once again, you know, Flamey ending up in a... well, this time not really impossible, but a near impossible clutch situation, so... You guys actually so nice in the chat, I can't believe it. That was not a diss, by the way. It's just, usually people aren't really that nice in chats, but you guys are nice. I like you guys. I should have just had the chat open from the beginning. That would have made me happy. But anyway, we're not here to talk about happy. Envious is not playing. Instead, it's Valder who takes down Seized. And they're going to be pushing through mid. Now, well, Guardian, only with the pistol, gets taken out by Snappy. And it looks like it could be an easy 3-0 from Heroic. Good timing from Nico. Flamey missing the spray twice, in fact. A bit unlucky, and a great shot from Muddy just instantly removes Edward. And Simple and Flamey again in an impossible clutch. Gets 1 kill. Oh, wow. Gets 1 kill. Plays for the HLTV stats on the opposite side of the map. But 1 versus 5 not going to be happening this time around. It is a 3-0 to Heroic. I'm happy, hottest, that you remember the voice from YouTube, and Mark. Oh. Yeah, from the 59 it's come this far. It's insane. Oh wow, you guys are so nice. I can't believe it, honestly, like, you guys are making me smile all over my face. But anyway, let's focus on the casting. Is it getting hot in this room? Or what? I think I need to open a window or something like that, because I don't know if it's you guys that make me sweat, but I don't know, this is starting to get a bit weird. Let's focus on the game. We do see NaVi trying to take aggressive plat control, or like taking the B plat here. And this is something that Heroic actually didn't do a single time on their CT side. I didn't see it a single time. We saw NaVi do it once on their CT side, I think, but well, here it is again. I think it's a good move. They put the AWP here as well, so now he can scout. And this just leaves Heroic to have to retake, use a lot of utility on actually retaking, and also use a lot of time on just waiting behind the smoke. So, flash comes over, Yugi's gonna peek, gets the timing right, and now Guardian can't re-peek without a flash. He gets a double flash, in fact, and he's gonna re-peek, and this is a very ballsy play. Gonna be working out for Guardian. And, impressive stuff from him. Flash is coming over, but no one's showing themselves. Cease looks to be lining up a smoke for a connector, perhaps? Or even pop. Muddy! Wait, why did I say Cease? Cease is obviously not on Heroic. But Muddy taken out. 20 seconds left. It's looking pretty one-sided. Good flash, though. Guardian completely blinded. Takes 1 kill. Yugi gets seized. Yugi has to make a play quickly. Gets 1 more, though. Can he find even more? We'll see if this is possible. Guardian gets taken down. Simple with 1. And Flamey to close out the round. They almost threw that, in fact. If Simple had missed his shot, I think that would have gone Heroic's way, and what a way that would have been to lose the match. That's absolutely insane. I see a guy in the chat asking if anybody knows the caster's Twitter. I know the caster's Twitter. I think it's just twitter.com/ I don't know if you even slash, but yeah, it's just NatoSapphics, you can go check it out. Tweet at me, like, I'd be really, really happy. I haven't casted in ages, and you guys are just all too nice. I can't believe it. I'm really enjoying this. If you're up late, I'm going to be streaming Renegades versus Rush at 3 AM. At least 3 AM in Denmark. So yeah. But that's actually interesting. So Flamey threw the same smoke that the T's threw. And... oh, seized! Oh, he's just gonna get the kill on Valde. Gives them the early advantage here. And... it is 5 versus 4. Seized! Might be caught out, but Muddy mistimes the flash. And good flash coming in. 1 minute left on the clock. Good shot by Simple. Looking for more. Might find it, might not. Might find another though. That's Nico. Gonna be dropping. Flamey chimes in with one. And Simple with the last. This guy. It's just on fire. So, are we going to double overtime, guys? Let me hear predictions. Thank you, P-Dog. You are the best caster ESL has. I honestly haven't casted for 9 months. Can you believe that? It's my first cast in 9 months. Whew, that's a long time. But yeah, it's good. Ryger du pot med? Nej, det eneste jeg ryger, det er til tops. Det er helt sikkert. Valde, quick down the drop. Gonna be taking down one. Edward takes down Muddy as well. Good kill from Guardian. Yugi. Looking like double overtime, guys. Sees with one. Yugi with another crazy Deagle headshot. And Snappy with one. Can't quite get the second. Is Yugi gonna be pulling off the massive round here? 2 fast Deagle headshots. 1 versus Simple. Timing not in his favor. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to double overtime. Can you believe it? I almost can't. And the funny thing is, like, this match could have been such an important match, but because NaVi lost the first match, or like the first map, it can't be, you know? So both teams are just fighting for bragging rights, I guess, but it's pretty cool. Okay, oh, this time we're not getting an elongated pause, that's nice. I'm just happy to get this underway. To be honest, like, when I'm a player, when I play a match on HLTV, you know, I like pauses because it's just breathing room and time to set your head straight and all that, but when I'm casting, I don't want pauses. I want as much Counter-Strike as possible in the shortest amount of time. So that's why I always have 8 streams open at the same time. And that's a joke, by the way. But yeah, Heroic changing up the pace here. And they're actually just going to be exploding out B-plat. They are going to be catching Edward off guard. Sees with one. Valde takes down Seized, and now Muddy with the kill onto Guardian. And this looks like a round that's pretty much set in stone already. Set in cobblestone almost. Snappy. Takes down Simple. Oh, well, someone told me that NaVi weren't in the playoffs. I checked the standings as well. That's the weird thing. They have 39 points. FaZe has 42, right? So I was assuming that there'd be some sort of a tiebreaker, and if Astralis don't win their second map, then I don't know if maybe that game is already over. I don't know, but if they don't win their second map, then you know there would be some sort of a tiebreaker. But people told me in the chat that was not the case. But yeah, it might be an important match then. I honestly am not entirely sure. You really need to see a doctor, mate. What? Now we can make it to a 4-way tie if they win, right? This try is gonna be GG. Perhaps. I mean, they would be even on points, but I don't know if it's, you know, round difference or if it's like a 4-way tiebreaker. No matter what, I mean, I'm a big fan of tiebreakers, so if that's the case, I really hope NaVi win. I like this peek from Guardian. It's the second time he does it. Flashes over and jumps up on the box and peeks. So ballsy, but I really like it. Such an insane way to peek. Guardian is such a cool player. I wish it was my dad. What a shot by Nico. Through the fire and flames onto Flamey. No fire and flames, but a smoke. It's close enough. With smoke there's usually fire. Ah, we see it there. 4 versus 4 though. Oh, seized. He really wants this kill. Nico spots him out. Now Muddy gonna be just Molotov it now. So 2 players on B. This is a good angle from Guardian. It's gonna be really tough to get onto the B-bomb site. And with Nico dropping, that's just gonna make it even harder. Flashes come over. They don't have any more utility. And Edward is in the Pasha corner. Guardian is even smoked out in chicken. So this should be around going NaVi's way. Edward gets the first. Muddy left wondering what's going on. Takes a frag though, and Guardian gets hit through. Yugi hits Guardian through. Oh, Yugi is gonna get the kill, and he knows Guardian is low in chicken. Is he gonna win this round? Oh, Yugi! Come on! Oh, Guardian just pulls it off. I really don't even know what to say in such a scenario, because it's just like, it's a butt-clenching moment, you know? It's just a matter of who peeks out and gets the hit first. And in this case it was Guardian. I think he even hit him twice, but such a weird round. It looked like it was all done and dusted, but Heroic clawed their way back into the round, and then the dreams were shattered. 1919. Bit of nade damage onto Valde. And Heroic, they seem to have had a lot of luck towards the A-bomb site. But it's also the case of double overtime, right? Ooh, Simple gets caught out. Tries to make a play. Didn't work out for him this time. And then Muddy also takes down Flamey. So this gets juicy real quick. Muddy with another. There's only one team in this round, and it's Heroic. There's only one player who's really done it for him, and it's Muddy. Even in a position to catch the last, and I think he will. And he will. What a shot by Muddy. Great shot from Muddy. 4K. Muddy wants to take this 2-0, that's for sure. So, this time we're seeing a small pause, yeah. Yugi just jumps around. I used to actually play Yugi quite often. Also, Nico, I guess, when they used to play for Tricked. There were a lot of Danish tournaments, and I would oftentimes face off against them. And Yugi is always like, he's always been like a really annoying player to play against, because first of all he's an Opper, so Oppers generally just tend to be really annoying to play against, at least the good Oppers. And then you also had the fact that the guy can play Deagle insanely well. The guy plays AK insanely well. The guy can use his utility well. The guy can clutch. The guy can, you know, set up teammates. It's just like, he's just such a well-rounded player. There's really, I mean, the only way you outplay that guy is by doing something special, you know, like, he rarely misses, and he's just, yeah, all in all an insane player. It's a player that I wish I had the pleasure of playing again, but since I obviously haven't had the same rise to fame that he has had, I haven't played him in a long time, and I kind of miss it because it was always a good matchup. Guardian gets taken down by Nico. Nico with an aggressive push there actually could have been. You know, if someone had pushed out through the smoke and tried to help Guardian, Nico would have probably gotten traded. It's super, you know, circumstantial though, because like when that plaid smoke is there, you never push through it. That's just kind of, I wouldn't say a rule, but almost there's no real reason to. Well, they could have traded out their kill. It's just impossible to know. And that's probably also why Nico made the decision of actually pushing. But Heroic in the driver's seat once again. And what looks to be an A split here. The problem is Muddy is in the window again. Does a lot of damage onto Flamey, but does trade out the kill. And now Simple, he needs to make a ton of work. No one. Oh, he does actually find him. Cannons. Now he can plant the bomb. We'll try to. Now it's Edward's turn to shine. Under heaven. Looks like he's considering smoking it off, and I think he did. But Valde on the lurk. And Yugi and Nico just trying to make noise so that they kind of bait out that there's a lot of people in connector to make Valde get the space that he needs to work. Does look like Simple is ready for this flash. Well, not really for the flash, but a peek. And Yugi going to be picking out Edward, so 21-19. A really, really, really good flash, actually. I think Edward held the angle, but Valde still got out and killed Simple, simply because Edward was flashed, so... yeah, that's the case. I see a lot of people asking who's the caster. I'm not sure if, like... that's a bad thing. Whoops. But, this is me. My name is Decisive. Well, it's not really my name, it's just my kind of nickname. It's not like, you know, when my mom gave birth to me, she was like, I wanted his name to be Decisive. That would be really weird, you know. First time we're seeing a drop boost, though. I'm really liking this. Modi took a bit of damage, but Guardian with this opening onto Nico. And now it's going to be going really quick. And Edward takes down one, gets traded, but Modi needs to make more of this, and he doesn't. And Heroic did win the first round, so they don't necessarily need to save. I'm not quite sure why they would, to be honest. I mean, okay, I see the point in Snappy saving. I guess it makes sense for both of them to save. It's just Nico has a lot of money. Yui has a lot of money. But Valde and Snappy, they both need a drop. But if Snappy hangs on to his gun, then there's only one that needs to drop. But then Modi will be low utility, so I guess it makes sense to save both. Yeah, we actually already have Seized, who's making his way downtown, walking fast. But I don't think he's gonna find anything. So it's gonna be on the brink of triple overtime here. And the Heroic players are just gonna mix and match here. Drop some guns around. And we are looking at potential match point for Heroic. But by the looks of things, it might go to triple overtime. And that wouldn't be half bad. It's been a good match, I feel. But we're seeing some aggressive plat control. We haven't seen Heroic do this at all this whole half. So I'm liking this with Simple and Guardian. Simple boosted up. I think he might find a frag here. Probably will. Ooh, the timing, but he still gets Nico. See, that's the problem sometimes with doing that aggressive plat control. But Modi shuts it down and drop. 2 huge frags from him. And now the T's trying to make a play, but do they know that Valde is in the corner? I don't believe they do. So Simple should be getting killed, and Valde is going to get traded though. Does make it possible for NaVi, and I wouldn't count anybody out in this match because it's been a really, really weird one. That is a weird way to smoke Speedway, but I like it, Guardian. Question is, are they going to think that Modi has been boosted late round? I'm not so sure they will, but a good flash can catch them. They're going to flash once, and Edward is charged through the Molotov. Now they've split up the players with that single Molotov. I think they know that Edward's out, but Edward does get the kill into a 2 versus 2. Now Yugi, always with the CZ. And what is going on? Did my game just really crash? Oh my god. I really hope that you guys could see that, because I couldn't. But it's triple overtime, is basically what I'm hitting at. It was like the worst timing of a game crash of all time. But I'm not sure. Is my stream still up? It is. So, yeah, that's good. But, yeah, well. Triple overtime. We unfortunately missed the crucial moment. I mean, I have another match in 3 hours, so if it just keeps going, you know, I'm ready to just go from this match to the other. So, Yeah. Disband yourself. Oh well. Triple overtime. No break this time. And, you know, usually it's the case of who has the deeper playbook or who is the better at making on-the-fly adjustments, you know. That's who wins the triple overtime. So it's usually whichever team has, is the better at doing adjustments on, you know, depending on how the other team plays. You need to make small adjustments or make plays, find out where you see errors and try to make a play off of that. We're seeing actually a Hellraiser strat here from NaVi, it seems. And they're just going to be going through mid, but Snappy takes the first kill, is traded out evenly, really quickly. Good counter flashes come in from the CTs, and they do have two guys on the side and one guy quick on the rotate, so it's definitely going to be tough for NaVi. Valde up in the heavens, going to be taken down by Edward. He might find more, doesn't. Modi finds one, Yugi finds one, and now NaVi for some reason are inside of connector. Yugi with another one though, and Guardian takes down Nico, but the bomb out in the open. Guardian 1 versus 3, now 1 versus 2. Tech 9 in hand. Tries to find something, but it's going to be Yugi with a 3k. It's going to be ending off the first round. Caster, how old are you? I'm interested. Pierce, sexy voice. I am 20 years of age. Hvordan bliver man en ESL caster? Skriv ind til dem. De er flink. So another boost drop, and as I said before, I think it's really good that they boost and drop. It's kind of an underappreciated boost. Oh, this is actually so smart from Modi. That was so clever. Takes the first fight, which we didn't see, but we could hear it. Takes the first fight, and then off the back of that, he just crouches and hides, and then later, on a random timing, peeks up, gets a free frag, and jumps down. Insanely smart by Modi, actually. Had they had a Molotov instead of a grenade there, it would have messed up their day so much, but they didn't, and really smart play by Modi. Just really, really smart. 5 versus 4 in favor of Heroic. Picked up the first round, and Guardian, a great kill onto Modi. Yugi traced it out so quickly though. Valde should be getting a free frag on the Flamey, does so. Edward and Simple with a frag each, and those two frags really shouldn't have come, but a good fake onto the B-bomb side by, or at least a good enough fake. And now Simple with another. So Yugi got it all to do here. Flashes through mid. Edward not blinded. Goes through the whorehouse when he's picked up an AK. Not normally his weapon of choice, but this scenario it is. Let's highlight him. Edward's so close. Takes out Yugi. Now it's going to be put it up to 22-22. Yugi now with 38-22. He was 14-14, I believe, so he's definitely stepped up massively here in the later stages of this match. And Snappy still going strong, 34 kills. And Valde, a guy who you usually see in the top of the scoreboard. I feel like there's something special about Valde because it seems like he always has so much average damage per round. He doesn't necessarily always have, you know, the best rating or whatever, but he always has the best ADR on his team. It's pretty crazy. Oh. Grenade does tag up Flamey slightly. But they're taking aggressive flag control again. I'm liking this. This time they did it a bit late, and this is even more powerful because the later you do it, the more, obviously, information you can get. And Nico just spraying through the smoke close up. This even lures them into believing that Nico, you know, is close. They're probably going to have to retake this anyway, but they definitely need to use utility on clearing it out now because they know that there's a legit threat that someone is close. Guardian willing to actually just walk out, so that's very smart. It's a bit of a risk from NaVi, but Perhaps they believe that Nico baited a bit too much. And Simple with a fantastic shot onto Nico. And now the B-side execute is coming in. The CTs need to get on the right side of these smokes, so it's going to be bye-bye Heroic. And all of those coming in. Valid actually taking up the T's quite a bit. Finds a good timing. Oh, Seized with 5 HP. Still staying alive. Snappy. Good grenade kills of Seized. And now Muddy in a very powerful position. Takes one. Can't quite get the second. 2 versus 3 though. Not entirely impossible. Yugi whiffing the shots. Oh, missing all of the shots. Unfortunate. It looked like it was very, very close, but it's going to be Flamey taking out the last player there, which was Yugi. And that gives NaVi 2 rounds on T side. So, hvad drikker hun af? Jeg tror, han drikker af glas. Jeg har mødt ham på LAN. So yeah, apologies for speaking Danish. I'll try to refrain from doing that. It's just people typing in chat, and I have, you know, it's like I'm that type of guy, you know, shows up to parties and always has these like really bad jokes, you know. So it's like when people write something in Danish, and I know I have some insanely bad joke. I know I really shouldn't be speaking Danish, but can't help it. I need to get those bad jokes out of the system. It's just, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm actually really sad you guys can't enjoy those very bad jokes because they're in Danish. So, if anybody could translate, but they don't really work that well in English. That's kind of why they're not really translatable. But anyway, something that is translatable is CS skill, and Seized making a great showing there. Makes no mistake. People from all nations able to see that a good opening was found, but traded out by Nico. So 4 versus 4. Nico dropped low though, so even though they do have the, not really the numbers advantage, but it obviously usually is favorable for the T's to be even Steven if at a lower number. So still Nico quite low. It might but not be that big of an advantage, and it does seem like the CTs are starting to get the smell, the scent. They're known for hunting, and they do have the scent of eager terrorists who are going to be pushing into the B-bomb site now. 3 guys on the B-bomb site though. Simple needs his frag, doesn't get it. Edward with a double though. Amazing from him. Flamey with 1 as well, and then peeks out, gets the 3rd, putting NaVi on match point. I mean, obviously in the regular time they were up like 59. They had a bunch of match points, but I think this is the first match point they've had in overtime, if I'm not mistaken. So this is the 3rd overtime. So the CTs changing up the setup. I do not believe that they have actually been playing close Matrix at all throughout this game. So they're definitely changing up. Seems to be a good bet. They have 3 guys around A, and Heroic are starting to go there. And it's because they're taking this aggressive flag control and they're putting the AWP here. So now he can play the long duels, and this leads them to go into a setup where Simple gets the first frag, even gets the second. I don't know why the auto director is not willing to show us this, but a massive advantage to NaVi, an even greater one now that Edward picks up a frag. Simple with another, and it looks like NaVi, they are going to be beating Heroic here on Cobblestone. C's definitely not going to be ready for Valde. And he gets a first frag. Edward low. Simple spots him out. And Valde takes that frag as well. Now it gets interesting. Edward low, if you run... Oh, he does not. Actually, Guardian takes him out. And whoa... Simple just going to be spinning around. So NaVi do pick it up. They do pick one of the maps up. I think that's going to be some sort of a tiebreaker with FaZe. Some people are saying that FaZe are through. Some people are saying NaVi are through. Some people are saying that there's a tiebreaker. Honestly, I am not an expert on the topic, so I do not know. But anyway, I hope you have enjoyed the cast, guys. I definitely did my best. I don't really think that you guys can. Yeah, I mean, I did my best. I couldn't do much better, to be honest. But I hope you enjoyed the cast, and I definitely enjoyed casting for you. If you are up late, I'm going to be casting Renegades versus Rush in the NA Pro League. So, yeah, if you are up, you can watch that match as well. So yeah, without further ado, this was NaVi versus Heroic. First map went to Heroic, 16-14